Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Saturday Nights. Thanks for joining us here today. Feels like it's been 5 ever since we've been here doing the D&Ds. I got to go jump through our announcements real quick, and we'll just jump back into the game because we are kind of at a little bit of a turning point, cliffhanger of sorts here. So we've got our normal kind of schedule listed below in the on Twitch. If you're watching us live right now, you can check out everything that's happening over the next week. We've got all sorts of D&D shows, and we play Dungeon World and All Myths Are True, and a Monster of the Week, which is just All Myths Are True. It's just that's the name of the game now. Monster of the Week and fun games like that. We're live here, schedule below, all that good stuff. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing that. Our next show, just to plug, is going to be tomorrow. Is Slang 101 at 4 o'clock Eastern time. So come back and join us right here again. Game Savannah is going to be running. We've got podcasts for you to enjoy. If you follow the links to our either Castbox or iTunes or wherever you get your podcast from, or whatever your podcatcher of choice is, you can listen to them there. We've got Cyberscape and Storyboard are 2 podcasts that we currently have going right now. I think that's it. I kind of want to just jump into things. So does anybody else have any announcements or anything that that need to be hit today, right now, this moment? No? Okay. So let's jump back into our recap. What happened last time on Saturday Nights? We'll change the music to something ominous. All right. Last time we met, your little party had set their sights on the presumably final archdevil that you were going to take on in order to free yourselves from the depths, this hellscape that you found yourself prisoned in all so many weeks, days ago. The target of your most recent attack was Irgamun the Haunted, spooky devil that you guys have been talking about going after for a while now, and then finally decided to. You arrived in their city, the City of Bone, and scouted it out. Found a creepy well and some mist spewing forth out of it, and pushed forward into the city, hoping to vanquish your third archdevil. Irgamun, unlike the last 2 archdevils that you had encountered, spoke with you, offered you an arrangement. Instead of going after him, he could perhaps get you an audience with one of your highest priority targets, big air quotes, Zariel, the Scourge General, the leader of the Coalition of Agony, and the reason for the season, the reason you're here currently. You agreed to this deal, and immediately Zariel arrived with her cohort, her escort with her. You sort of agreed to be taken or escorted back to her kingdom, her domain, and upon arriving there, your friend Azon was recognized by a pit fiend who seemed to know a little bit more about your good old buddy Azon Deathcaller than you did. Azon, a little skirmish broke out You guys fought back the pit fiend and a couple of other devils, allowing Aeson to escape, and then through some very good persuasion, manipulation, a little bit of diplomacy, you were able to end the fight without anybody getting too badly hurt, and then were escorted into the palace, this massive ivory gleaming structure, a noticeable mark on this otherwise blighted landscape. You enter through the golden doors of this palace and into a gleaming interior. Savannah just jumped so hard. Oh man. Into this gleaming interior, again, so out of place based on anything you have encountered this far in the depths. And these guards, the devils, are at spear point, leading you through these halls into the chambers far within. As you enter the palace, you lose sight of the courtyard, the high-walled structure out behind the palace, where you can see the top of that kind of shattered glass-looking fissure in the air, that portal, the other side of it. So you're currently being escorted through here. Any conversations you guys are having as you're being led through?
Well, I hope Aeson is going to be all right.
Me too.
Wish she would have told us that they would have executed him on sight.
Well, I don't know. He survived long enough without us, so.
That's true.
Does it look like there's a fork worth 250 gold pieces in this?
Just hanging out, flying around.
You haven't
entered on a table.
Yeah, you haven't found the dining hall yet, so no.
Okay, just keeping an eye out.
Okay. The decor in here is like these white marble pillars supporting a raised, very high ceiling. There are no windows inside of here. The only source of light are these glowing silver orbs that are kind of slightly like hovering in small like sconces, equally placed throughout the hall, giving the whole interior a very monochromatic sort of coloring. But you're led through this wide entrance hall, and then the hallway sort of narrows to a corridor that they are marching you down, and you can see a set of closed golden doors, probably 50 feet down the passageway ahead of you, that you are currently being moved towards. There are a couple little like passageways you march past, leading off into some more dimly lit alcoves and corridors. It's very, like I said, very simple in its ostentatiousness, other than the gold ornament and the cleanliness of the whole place. It's very very Spartan in its decor. You reach the end of the hall, and the two guards that are leading this procession push open the doors and reveal an enormous main hall to this castle structure. You had noticed as you approached that there was a central building, a domed central building of this palace, and based on your sense direction, you gather this must be where you are currently standing. It is more brightly lit in here, still kind of dim and ominous, but you can get a pretty good look of the full scope and size of this structure. The domed ceiling spans probably 150 feet up. It has a gold plating to it, which extends down till it reaches the walls, which then continue that ivory marble structure. There are a dozen pillars, 6 on either side, that support some of the buttresses and other support structures to this dome, and dozens and dozens of these silver glowing orbs hover throughout the room, kind of scattered like grains of sand in the air. At the far end of the room, where you're currently being led towards, is a dais. And on that dais sits a throne, also made of a golden metal, with supported by a ivory marble base, and the back of the throne extends probably 30 feet in the air. And sitting in that throne is Zariel. Legs crossed, leaning kind of straight backed, very, very sort of stiff posture in the chair, and positioned on either side of the room next to the throne, you see 6 of these golden or gilded devils that you had seen previously in Quildun before you entered the portal, the ones that were kneeling outside of the beacon. But they are remaining kind of to the outskirts of the room and at attention. The guards that are currently escorting you reach the dais, and you are in pretty close proximity with Zariel, and she gives them the slightest of nods, and they quickly proceed out of the room, closing the doors behind them. There is a long period of uncomfortable silence. And then, unless anybody else speaks first, she says, "You went to great lengths to achieve this audience with me. I'm curious what you want."
Most simply, my lady, we wish to return home to Sarthia.
Straight to the point, then. That sort of forwardness and honesty is at a severe lack around these parts. Why do you wish to return home? Do you have any problems with our homeland here? My domain?
Well, we are all kind of vaguely in an eternal sense of pain and discomfort, one that we do not have back on the material plane. So there's at least that point, but forgive me if this is a tender wound, but would you not do all in your power to return home if you were forcibly removed?
She cracks the slightest of smiles and says, "I have no wish to return to my home. Not for the sake of staying there. My return would be under different circumstances." And she shifts in her chair, and the large angelic wings that are currently pinned against the back of it kind of spread out for a moment and then rest on either arm of the chair. As she sits a bit forward, she says, I'm inclined to give you what you ask for. But there's something that I need in return. Something that was owed to me, promised to me, by an acolyte of mine, and not delivered upon.
If it is within our power to do so, we will see what we can do to aid you.
She stands from her chair, from her throne, I should say. I should be more respectful. And steps down from the dais towards you. As she approaches, and you again realize the sheer size of her, she's standing 12 to 13 feet tall in front of you, sort of further accentuating the sort of haughty bearing that she holds, barely looking down the bridge of her nose in your directions. She says, "As it so happens, I am very motivated to visit your home for my own purposes. I have a need to return there for many reasons which we need not get into. But there is something I need in order to do so. A vessel." And she turns and looks towards you, Chad. "I believe you are the one that was promised to me."
Well, I will say certainly that I was not informed enough to be able to give any kind of consent to this matter. But tell me what that would entail, and I am willing to listen.
You give yourself willingly to me in my service, and your friends here may return unharmed to whatever home you come from.
Is this a sort of possession deal? How much of my own self would remain?
I'm afraid that that's part of the sacrifice that would come from this. I'm not really one for sharing. But it would be a noble sacrifice. You'd be saving not only your small group of companions here, but everyone. All the miserable, rotting races that flock across your material plane. I'm looking to do them a service, from the ones that seek protecting them from the ones that seek to destroy them. I am not your enemy here.
And who is it that seeks to destroy the mortal races?
The ones that you seek and spend so much effort and time worshipping. That damnable convergence, sitting upon their glistening throne high in the dawning city. Do you know what they plan right now? Do you know what they contemplate as we speak?
Well, I will be the first to let you know I'm not much of a learned man, but based on the pieces I've been able to piece together, some of the original six did not agree with the creation of the mortal races and decided to send an arbitrator, or an arbiter rather, a judge of sorts, to judge the mortal races. But I believe this entity to have been inherently biased. But this was also ancient history, and we are still here. We were alive enough to come here, so I don't know what has come of this endeavor.
She, her brow furrows a bit, and she says, "You know of the Arbiter?"
Yes,
How is that?
well, when we defeated some of the previous archdevils, in their dying moments, there, I guess, was a flash. We were consumed by visions.
Strange.
The narrative is incomplete, but if, and this is a very large if, you were willing to help us remove the other archdevils, I think we could get a more complete picture.
I have no interest in doing so. They are loyal servants of mine. That you have been granted knowledge of something erased from the minds of mortals for millennia is something I do not understand.
Well, we don't understand it either, but I'm curious, my lady, how do you know about this?
Because I was there. I served alongside the Six in their war against the Awakened. Back before I saw reason. Back before they were unfortunately imprisoned. And then some meddling insects had to go about and bring them back. Either way, nothing changing that now. Now, all I can do is cross through the barrier that keeps me imprisoned here, bring my armies along with me, stage my forces against the dawning city, and raze it to the ground.
Is there an option B? Because, forgive me, but I don't think Chad was meant to be your vessel. I think it was some lady doing some big ritual. And she kind of died mid-ritual.
You speak of Delilah.
I'm step bitch is how I know her.
She made promises to me. Must have been almost 30 years ago, by your time, that she would deliver to me a vessel, making the necessary arrangements to see it happen, that she had located a carrier of sorts, a descendant of mine with the blood necessary to create this vessel.
Well, she was willing to sacrifice Chad. So
I believe he is the one.
I've known him for a few days and he doesn't seem like a good option.
I'm not sure whether to be offended by that or not.
Like, I beat him in like 2 fights within a day of meeting him.
Make a deception check.
Excuse me, I did beat him 2 times in the fight when I met him.
No.
so-
I'm to in your convincing of her that he is not the vessel.
Yeah.
22.
She looks towards you and she says, "If he is not, and if I am mistaken, then there is no need for us to be having this arrangement."
So may as well just send us home. We'll find your vessel.
I can see we're not getting anywhere with this. And she looks to her guards and they begin to march forward towards you.
My lady, if I might,
She holds up a hand and they stop.
I have some knowledge of warfare, and you say you wish to protect the mortal races, but I can only imagine that bringing the armies from the depths through to the mortal plane, I do not imagine much on the mortal plane would survive this encounter, this war you wish to wage. And so it seems like a poor way to protect those you claim to fold under your aegis.
You misunderstand. I have no desire to protect the mortal races. But either I mount my conflict against the heavens, and some may survive the calamity, or I leave the convergence to its machinations, and the universe dies.
What if we intervened on your behalf? There's no point in you getting all messy and having to do stuff.
I see 5 insignificant mortals.
We've already killed 2 of your archdevils, I might add.
Don't mistake me, I believe your egos are up to task, but I do not believe that you have the capacity to intervene in such a way, nor am I willing to put my trust in your ability to do so.
Well, that's in our best interest.
There is one avenue to take here. Either provide me what I want, or you can perish. I'll give you some time to think about it. If there's one thing we have an abundance of here, it's time. And she turns and back to her throne, and the guards approach and begin to escort you from the room. And within a matter of minutes, you are escorted down flights of stairs into a darker part of the palace and into a row of darkened cells. And you are each locked up in your individual prison cells. They're all very small, probably about 5 by 5 feet. No cots or other pleasantries to speak of. Dark iron bars restricting your movement.
Prestidigitating myself, just
Sure.
make it clean.
And you hear from down the row of cells, Matthias says, "That could have gone better. Could have gone worse. Could have gone better."
Good. Yeah, thanks, Matthias.
Chad, how attached are you to being Chad?
Well, seeing as it seems like if I give up this attachment, there won't be anything to be attached to, I'd say I'm pretty attached.
That's selfish talk I'm hearing.
Finn, you can't be serious. Chad can't do this.
You signed 2 other contracts.
Yes, but those were a bit different. This one is saying, I signed this contract and then poof, no more Chad.
Okay.
And that's, sure that might be on the selfish level, but if I do that, then we unleash, a general of the depths onto Sarthia.
Does anyone remember the path from the entrance to here? Was it a difficult path, voice in the sky?
No, it wasn't like a maze of like twists and turns. It was a few lefts and rights. I think anyone with a decent survival bonus would be able to do that.
Okay. So, we escape. We go through the portal.
I mean, it is just right there, and it's interesting to notice that Zari herself cannot go through it. So that's a good sign.
As long as Chad's here, there's a chance she can make it through.
True.
So it's either Chad gets through the portal or Chad dies to save the world.
I'm not so convinced it would be saving the world.
No, I mean like to prevent her from getting your body.
Oh.
No offense.
I mean, there's nothing saying she couldn't just possess him even if he was dead.
She asked for willingness. She asked for consent, which seems pretty cool.
Yes. I did have a bit of a it's not even really a plan, but if I allowed her in but then started to resist, would that be enough? Or
Right,
is it
the
once she's
literal
in, I'm
queen of
gone?
hell. Sure.
Yeah, nah, I've had voices in my head. I got voices in my head. They're not cool. What about your
Don't
mother?
risk it.
Would assume if she had been a suitable option, then my stepmother would have chosen or used her instead of. I mean, I don't know if she arranged to have my parents meet. I can't remember if she actually said she did that or not. But
It was implied.
yeah. So for whatever reason, my mother was not a suitable vessel. Maybe she thought if she were able to raise me and shape me, it could work, but that
Maybe she
didn't
shouldn't have
pan
been
out.
a bitch to. In hindsight, she probably could have been nicer.
Doesn't matter now, she's not here.
Okay, Jules, your thoughts?
Do you think she's telling the truth about the gods and the universe ending?
It's hard to say, but I'm very curious about what she has brought up and the fact that we have gotten these
I think
sort of visions.
a war is pretty much guaranteed destruction.
No, I'd rather the universe end than her win a war against the gods.
Or we could always. I was being serious about we intervene. We're pretty good.
What are you going to
Yes,
do? Walk
indeed.
up the stairs to the seat of heaven?
I will take the stairway to heaven.
Well, when you find it, let me know. I think trying to get out of here and get through the portal is our best bet.
Hilda?
Yeah, I mean,
They're all sort of terrible. But it's better than
Yeah.
Chad getting possessed again.
What if we trick her into entering the geode? just leave the geode here.
I don't know how it works. We have no way of knowing if it would actually.
I hate to say this, but
Would be nice.
Matthias, your opinion.
See Matthias.
I think letting a war happen back home would be bad.
Oh, good. We're all on the same page.
I also don't think Chad being possessed sounds good either. So
Oh, good. We're all really on the same page.
That's the same thing, though. Just
well, no, they're both bad. I don't want
Chad
either.
being possessed means a war.
Yeah, I don't.
Chad being
I don't
possessed means he's probably going to kill you first, Finn. So
Not really. 2-0 to me. Like, get possessed and we can just kill her here. And just put her on.
Once we get back to Sarthia, you and I are having a sparring match.
Oh, your ass.
I will referee that one myself.
But you're not allowed to hit me 6 times in 6 seconds, because that's just cruel.
You don't get to make those rules.
So, we're all for escaping?
I think we have to get Chad out of here.
Oh.
As fast as possible.
Does anyone know where Lobster went?
Lobster was taken to.
Yes. Okay, I didn't think about it a minute.
Some kind of stable.
Yeah.
Yeah. That might be that.
Unless it sends a tornado rescue mission for your.
Did anyone see a really
Hold on, let me
expensive
just
fall?
click on the spell I know.
Oh, it takes 10 minutes to cast that one.
It does. But I've already cast it, is
But
the
you
thing.
know where it's located.
That's what I'm trying to read and find out, but I'm not
So,
actually reading.
Casting the spell again resummons the bonded mount, but I'm guessing.
Can your owl
fully
go
cast.
find it? Like, wait, the doors are shut, so I'm going to get outside and there's no windows in this monochrome piece of shit place. You should have just killed the other guy. That's all you know. In hindsight, Finn was correct.
Well,
So am I picking these locks because I didn't hear anyone say they took all of our equipment?
Well, Chad, what do you think? I mean, it's your life. Yes, we can't tell you what to do with it.
Yes, well, as much as the ideals of the noble doing what's best for their people, I do have to, as I said, I do not think letting her possess me would be what's best for the people. Even
would it be what's best for you? Let's talk
that-
about you, my friend.
Be selfish.
Finn, if
Think
she had
about
offered you
yourself.
the same deal, all of that happened, but it was you instead of me, would you let her
Oh
take you
no,
over?
fuck no. Like I said, be selfish. Say no.
Apparently, being selfish is not a bad thing in Finn's book.
You can do more good being you.
I know she's your great aunt, grandmother, something. I mean, I can't tell you how you feel, but it doesn't seem like there's much familial bond.
Yes.
And you don't look anything like her.
She's like 12 foot tall, stunning.
I mean, so far aside from
She
the
just
height
has
difference,
this
it's the
aura
same
about
thing.
her. Trust me, it's not. There's just this presence she has, which I can't see it coming from your body, so don't let her in there. It just would be wrong.
All right.
So am I picking these locks, and are we? Oh, what about
That,
Avon?
that would be nice if you could at least maybe just start picking them, because I
Yeah.
don't know what
I just
to-
wanted to make sure because I didn't want to get like halfway through and then we decide to stay.
Yeah,
Just staying in these little metal boxes until she decides to force her way in. That sounds like a good plan. So
You guys look a little cramped in there.
At least mine's clean.
it's very small.
Fits me
Wait,
alright.
did Hilda
but-
just do a height joke? Is
I mean,
Hilda's
for once, it
cage
feels good
nearby
to be
a high
small.
five or low five?
Rude.
You want to try picking the lock?
Yeah, let's try picking it up.
All right. So you, yeah, because they didn't take any of your stuff from you.
I was also going to argue if I could just conjure one with my hexblade tools and use it as a weapon.
Your first mistake.
Might be pushing it. You, okay. You pull out your lockpicks and you move over towards the door. You should make a wisdom saving throw.
Hey, I'm going to use my reaction to get advantage on that. Wait, let's see if I fail. Then I can choose if I want advantage because I'm
Okay.
I'm going to take advantage with my reaction because it can't hurt. Okay, that's a 16.
That's half.
So this is what happens. You, Finn, approach the door and you get your lockpicks out and you begin to mess with the lock. And after a second, there's a click, and you open the door. You turn around, and you close the door behind you, and you turn to face the rest of the group, and you're facing the back of your cell. You turn around, and the door's there. You swear you just walked through it, but you're back in the same room again.
What is our sight line on each other? Did any of us actually?
You,
visually witness
I'm gonna
that?
say that.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say Hilda, you're probably like across from him, and you just
Yeah,
watch
what I
Finn
see.
mess around with it, and then the door and then you open the door, and then you just closed it, and then you turned around.
Why'd you close the door? You got it open.
Yeah, I was just, I thought I heard something.
Right. Okay, well, get me out next.
Okay. I think there's some kind of magic going on. So we just want to make sure there's no magic affecting this place. Does anyone check to see if there's that?
Yeah, you're right. There probably is.
I don't want to
something.
set an alarm off and then we all get killed because of this.
Give me a second. I can't do this as virtual, can I? Nope.
I guess I will use my last charge of Gem of Seeing. And do I see anything funky happening with my true sight?
Okay. You take out your gem of seeing and you put in your ear and you put it on your eye and flick it on or whatever. Push the button. I don't know what the thing is, and it kind of goes like. Nothing happens.
Guys, I think my monocle's broken. Or I'm going blind.
Let me. I think there's something magical going on. I could try to dispel it.
Because it can't be like an anti-magic field because I cleaned my cell.
Let me give it a try. And I would like to try to dispel magic on Finn's door.
Okay.
On his cell.
All right. Go ahead and what is it?
At third level.
Okay. At third level, you're still gonna have to roll, which I think third level is the base level for the spell, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you'll roll plus your. I don't remember if you do intelligence or.
For this one's charisma.
Okay. We'll put charisma.
Gosh dang it. What is my charisma? Heck. I just wasted a spell slot. That's an 11.
Yeah. You focus and you kind of lean outside of yourself. I'll say you do realize a couple of things. I think I'll give you this. You start to cast in the spell. You start to cast the spell like in the cell itself, and there's this like dampening effect to it. It doesn't feel right. You lean over towards like the door, and kind of like stick your hands outside, and you feel that dampening effect change as you do the incantation like closer to the door area. You finish incanting the spell, and nothing happens. you feel the magical energy just sort of wash over and around the bars of the cell.
Well, guys, we might have a bit of a problem. There's some sort of magic event going on that's sort of dampening what I can do.
I'm assuming then, based on the layout, that Jules and I are probably across from each other.
Sure, yeah.
Just kind of looking, Jules like, well, I guess we let them try being sneaky and clever. Just taking Dragon Maru in. I know it's a little cramped. It's just like, should I
You're
just
gonna try to do a snack?
Let's just hold on a second.
I mean, you could try.
Yeah.
I take out my mace, like, huh?
Yeah.
Is it only like? Did I have to do the save because I tried walking through the door? Do I know why?
I mean that gets a little metagame. I don't think you know. I don't think Finn knows about the
Finn's
saving
not the
throw.
brightest person.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got another idea. Can I try and Misty Step into the hallway out of my door? Out of my cell.
Okay.
If this don't work, I give up. He'll just sit in the cage and be like, well, looks like Chad's sacrificing himself for everyone.
You do, as you're inside the cell, try to cast Misty Step. Going to make another Wisdom saving throw for me.
This game fucking hates me. Well, I've got reaction again, so we're just on flat ahead advantage. Yeah, nah.
Okay, here's what happens. You spend the spell slot for it. Hilda, you watch Finn focus, and then he then turns and then just Misty steps into the corner of the cell and like turns around, and you're still in the cell.
See, I could do that, but like out there if I really wanted to. But again, I thought I heard something.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I think it's something on the walls.
let's hope I can get this open before the guards show up.
This
Are
is
both of you doing this or just Chad right now?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, both of you make Wisdom saving throws.
Yep.
So Jules is probably
I'm
the
better at
safest
those
person
now.
to do this.
Well, not with a. Well, no, hold on. Indomitable.
This is like the critical role
I
door.
forget. Do I have to use the next?
This is the door that fights back, though.
Yeah.
You do so. You must.
What none of you have done
roll.
is said, "Mother, may I?" Just that's my DM hint that pops
That's
up.
a natural 20, 24, 25.
25.
Oh,
Okay.
25.
Now you'll have to make a trying to think of attack roll or athletics check. Are you like you're just hitting the door, or you are like pushing the door?
Hitting it with my magical great axe.
Okay, then yeah, make an attack roll. Jules, what did you roll?
29.
Oh yeah, okay. Make you're also doing an attack.
Yes.
guys.
Yep.
Okay, both of you make
That
attack rolls.
is
Back.
23 to hit.
23 to hit. Roll damage on that. It's not hard to hit. I'll just go and tell you guys it's like a 12 to hit it.
Oh, I rolled a
16
24.
slashing.
Yeah. Roll damage on it too.
16 slashing.
16 slashing. Okay. I was like 6 slashing. Geez, that's a terrible roll.
I would have to roll a 1, which I can re-roll as
yeah.
a great weapon fighter.
What would you roll, Jules?
11.
11. Okay. So both of you swing, hitting the door. It's gonna be a lot funny if you failed, because I just would have had you guys attack the back of your cell, start attacking the walls. But this works too. You guys both hit the gates at the same time, and there's this loud clang, 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 which kind of echoes down the halls. And Chad, with your axe, the door, you don't just like cut straight through the bar, but the whole thing kind of and like breaks a little bit. The whole thing kind of bends outwards. It seems the door is pretty well busted. It's still closed right now though. Jules, you do the same to pretty much the same. It kind of bends out a little bit, some of the metal. You hear the locking mechanism kind of crack. It's starting to open, but it's not fully open. You do hear a set of heavy footfalls coming from down the passageway, though. You guys go again.
Yep.
All right, go ahead and make another attack roll. Since you
I
succeeded,
think-
you don't have to do the
If they're gonna hit, can I try and pick the lock again?
thing. Make another wisdom saving throw.
Well, if they're gonna try and break through, I might as well try and get out.
29 to hit.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, just roll damage.
Does a 19 make me not turn into the wall?
A 19. Finn goes and he like starts picking at the lock again. Pick, click, opens it, shuts it again. Damn it.
I don't think I can get out, guys.
That's 9 more slashing.
I rolled a 15 to hit.
Okay, 15 also hits. 9 more slashing. You bust it. The whole door kind of clatters down into a rubble, or to like forward across this narrow hallway. Jules, you also
7
damage. Okay, yeah, that's part of 2. So both your doors at the same time go against each other, forming a little bit of a barrier in this hallway as you push the doors open.
We fist bump.
From the other side, kind of
Probably.
where like Finn and Hilda's are, you see the foot. You see someone round the corner, and you see one of those gilded devils kind of running down the hallway, and reaches to their belt and begins to pull out a horn, and then suddenly stops.
He's on my best friend.
Falls to the ground, and you see standing behind them with a bloody knife in hand, a cowled figure who mysteriously lowers the cowl, and you are surprised beyond belief to see your buddy Azon
Call him
standing
Azon
there.
Death Caller or something. He gotta be cool.
And he goes, "I was coming to. You just already.
You got
I'm
a
just-
little impatient.
I'm just going to go then. Never mind. You
Oh,
got."
I'm
No,
such a fun
We may need your help. Finn seems to have forgotten how to open doors.
No, I can open doors. I just can't walk through the door.
He
This is
reaches.
amazing here. It's too clean.
He pats down the body of the guard and pulls out a set of keys and comes up to the doors and starts opening the last 2.
3. I'm not leaving.
3,
Matthias.
Matthias too.
Matthias.
Opening the last 3 gates and says, "Yeah, they're sort of annoying, aren't they? The whole like mess with your mind, make you just walk in and out. It's
I never even got out. I just spun around in circles.
yeah, it's not fun.
Did you spend time in here?
Not here. No, not here. I don't think so.
We gotta
I'm
find
glad-
lobster and get the bucket.
I'm glad to see you're all okay.
Yes. We're glad you're
thank
okay too. We are going to need to have a longer conversation at some point, but right now we're trying to get to the portal and back to Sarthia.
All right.
Deal with Zari is not gonna work.
Or
out.
we could have the chat now.
The chat. I don't know what chat they're talking about.
Why were you exiled? Why are you Azon Death Caller? We can walk and talk, or you can wait until we are relatively safe.
All right, let's go. I'd hate for me to die and you not get to hear my life story. And just says, "Follow me. I know. We'll go the way that I came in here. Less people,
Okay.
seems. Are you sure you're not negotiating? I can take you back to the throne room if you really want to. But
You're welcome to go up there.
Yeah. Sort of what I thought might happen.
Let's go.
All right. So he begins to sneak down the halls in front of you. What I am gonna
Wearing
have you
heavy
all.
armor.
Yep. What I am gonna have you all do
One no silence, just casting on the chat.
Nope.
is make some stealth checks.
Oh boy.
Chad, strip down, Chad. You can just.
Ditch your armor.
I mean, I debated starting to take off my armor while we were talking, but decided against it.
26.
Okay. Can I pop out Panker and have him sort of like with us, maybe trailing behind a little bit,
Uh huh.
see if anybody's following us?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, I will roll for him too. Let's see. Let's roll this one for Panker and this one for me.
Let's see if we get 3 genes.
dear.
Just go
Matthias
all
will.
out.
Oh wait, does he have? Oh, why did I think he had invisibility? Never mind.
Matthias. We could have had a short rest and learned it.
You guys decided to break out right away.
Gosh.
Okay.
I didn't. I just spun around in my room.
All right. So what did we roll?
Dirty 20.
Okay.
26.
Like so good.
Uh huh.
Like
You rolled
so
a 1,
good.
didn't you?
3.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Or actually, no. Yeah, I also got a 3. I rolled 2 dice, but no, I'm at disadvantage, not advantage.
Oh, great.
yeah,
Technically,
those are
I
different.
did roll a 4 on the dice.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh
All right,
my
so
god.
3,
Perfect.
3, 26. What'd you say, Hilda?
20.
20, and then Matthias got a 16.
My.
And Aeson got a 24.
So,
So.
okay, that's a pretty good spread.
It's
Oh
a
my
spread.
God.
Wait, what?
Um,
Hang on,
okay,
let me see
You
what my
can't
cat
give
rolled.
me
Majority
shit for
passed.
spinning in a
My
room.
cat rolled a 12.
Good.
Armor is very loud,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah,
very
that's
large.
You can't give me crap for turning around in circles in my room now.
Question.
Yeah.
If I use Dragon Maru to fly, would that negate my disadvantage, or I assume there would still
You
be
just like hover
clanking
along.
of...
Yeah, there'd still be some clanking. Good thought, though. Especially these tight corridors. That might help you more in a more spread out, open environment. But if you try to fly here, I imagine just a lot of like bouncing off the walls and the ceiling and stuff.
Ka-thunk, ka-thunk, ka-thunk.
The 5 of you
Suddenly.
Now,
with Azon.
Seven.
Huh?
we got the cat.
Oh,
Hit
jeez.
him.
7.
Because
And we'll bring out
the
3
number of
Ginas.
followers just fluctuates so wildly from
There's openly a 3D bottle as well. Just
You could just
Yeah.
say the group of you. Don't
The
have-
group.
Don't say numbers.
yeah. Your Molly crew
there you go.
starts sneaking, skulking down the hallway. You round the corner and you step over another body in the hall that Azon pulls a dagger out of as he begins to recount his life story. He it sort of whispers back. He says, "So I may not have been entirely forthcoming when we first met.
No,
Surprising, I'm sure, everyone here.
surely not. You?
So
betrayed my trust.
Shocker.
there may be a few
Gutted.
people. Listen, the odds of running into somebody that would recognize me were very slim, but
But here we are.
apparently it's sort of spread a little more than I thought it would. I was truthful when I said that I used to serve in the military and that I held a pretty high rank. As he like kind of rounds a corner and looks side to side and motions for you to head towards a flight of stairs. They're kind of circling up. He says, I was a member of the Royal Guard for about a millennia or so. Since I'm pretty young, enlisted, as most people do. And I let something happen that wasn't supposed to. See, I was a guard for King Arda in the Black City. And I let something be stolen from the king's treasury. Like I said, I was pretty young back then, and things happen. There was an item, somebody got in, took it. I don't even know who, never saw them, but they killed a few people. And well, I took the brunt of the blame, and I made a run for it. I've been exiled ever since. Death Caller was what they called me back when I was in the guard. And he kind of like fans out some knives.
Yeah,
And then
I don't know.
Light of hands them away.
I get it.
tap the nose like rogue stuff.
Yeah, rogue stuff. Yeah.
They wouldn't understand.
People love the weird nicknames.
So yeah, that's my story. It's not really that complicated. I just sort of fucked up, and
I'm gonna ask what item later when I'm not in agony.
all right, that's fair. I don't even really know what it was. It was some kind of gate stone. From what I heard, I don't really know much about it.
So
You know
something
what
Seems
would
like
have
it.
been... Oh, 3 of us tried to talk at once.
No.
it's like something that would maybe make a portal or something.
Yeah. Do you know
Yeah.
if it would have been large enough to create 3 big obsidian slabs?
No, it was smaller. I saw it sitting on the pedestal when I was on duty a couple of times. It was kind of a small, kind of just looked like a rock.
We have a rock outside called Lobster.
Not that kind. The one with the K.
Okay.
That's not how you spell lobster.
This is the worst bit. I want out of it.
Do you
not
know where
going back.
Lobster?
No, it's just kind of like it looked like a rock. I actually didn't even know it was that valuable until it went missing, but
We'll put this on the future Hope Vagrants issues. The present Hope Vagrants need to get the fuck out.
sure. Anyway, any other questions? Do you want to know my mother's name? Or
Not at the moment.
Date of birth, mother's maiden name, and the name of your first family pet.
Question: how big are these corridors? Like,
Uh,
if I pull out some jeans,
So I pull
would they
out
be super
Gina.
cramped?
right now it would be.
Please
You
do
reach
not.
the
Please
reach
do
the
not
top of
punch
this.
us.
You reach the
If
top of
you-
this stairwell at this point, and Azon kind of cracks open a door and looks out, and then pushes it open the rest of the way, and you're back in that sort of main hall, not the main hall that you were Zariel, but the corridor that led to the entrance hall that you were at previously.
If I see Chad go to grab any animals out of that bag, I'm going to put my hand over his hand and stop him.
No.
Because when Finn's scolding you, it's got to be a bad idea.
It would be a very tight fit for Gina in here. Less so in this hall that you are now in. It's a little bit maybe 20 or 30 feet across. And
This is more so Chad is preparing the action to throw out some animals as distraction if need
Sure.
Oh, look, a unicorn! And then run the other way.
Yeah.
Look.
And you reach, so you make a right turn and you begin to head towards the doors, and Azon stops and says, I don't think we want to go out the main way. If you're looking to get to the courtyard with the portal, just jumping through it? Is that the plan?
As far as we can tell.
Do you know where Lobster is?
They took him to this. I think they took him to the stables.
Do you know
Just
how
like
far away that is from the portal?
it's like 45 miles that direction. You'll never get there in time.
We have to go, Finn. I'm sorry.
I have to go the 45 miles alone?
But if we go down this way, I think this corridor will lead out near where that courtyard is. I never saw in there, so I don't know how many people there are, but probably better than going out the front. And as he's leading that direction, I think in unison, Jules and Chad, both of you bump separate sconces on separate sides of the wall and separate vases.
I told you the two of us shouldn't walk next to each other.
Kind of wobble, and you both in unison go to catch them, and you do, and then the pedestals both fall over with a heavy poof on the ground next to the vases.
I think we just use the front door now.
Cracking noise, and there are footfalls as you hear the sound of guards approaching.
I'm pulling out an animal, hoping I can make it that Gina knocked one of them over.
I'm
Time to
hoping
go.
it's like 3 rats.
Time to go, time to go.
3 Ginas.
All right.
Oh
I mean,
man,
if
are
I
you
have
pulling
enough
out
time to
one
pull-
or all 3 of them?
Would I have enough time to pull out all 3 as we start moving?
Sure, why not? Might as well bite this bullet.
No Ginas.
Aw.
Okay.
Game's
But,
I like that you
rigged.
just know which number Gina's are now.
but 2 dire wolves and a weasel.
Okay.
Weasel? Oh, not again.
The
Oh, no,
weasel
I pick up
died
the weasel.
So horribly last time.
No, not again.
you see the 3 balls hit the ground, and 2 of them pop into these large gray furred dire wolves, going through these sort of predatory stances on the ground, and then poof, in between them you just see the little weasel. It's like twitching,
Oh,
kind
go
of
for it.
a little terrified
I'll
right
scoop
now.
him up.
Okay, you grab him.
Hold on.
And and you all go running, and from down the hallway you see some more of these gilded castle guards approaching. Do you just sick the dire wolves on them?
Yeah, I just say, sick them.
You just hear, and then the dire wolves lunge down the hallway in their direction.
Okay, I would also like to cast web on the hallway
Okay.
to sort of block it off, sort of. Let me
Yeah.
do
How
a
does
20-foot cube.
Okay, 20-foot cube. Yeah. You said you wanted to shoot, Finn?
Yeah, not. I don't want to shoot myself.
I gotcha.
Let's make it
you-
fair for him.
You can fire some shots if you want to.
Okay, may as well while we're running.
Does your gun have a silencer mode?
No.
Then not for now. Let the
Not for
let the
now.
wolves do their
Okay.
business.
Okay.
Kind of like put your hand down and then like finishes casting, and there's like this big web. It sort of weaves itself and covers the hallway.
Pretty certain my gun would still be more quiet than Jill's and Chad, but
All right. So what's the saving throw on web? It's a dexterity saving throw.
Spell. Okay, it's a strength check against my DC, which is 16.
each creature that starts its turn does dex.
Yeah, it's strength to break free. I think it's dex to avoid it initially.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Enters them starts its turn or enters. Must
Yeah.
make a dex save.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna make a couple of dexterity saves. You said 16.
Yes. Is my
And
DC.
I
All
can
right.
do it for the wolves as well. 'Cause I
Uh,
should-
Well, I'm gonna
obviously-
say I'm back from the wolves.
Yeah, I'll assume that you place this well enough so it doesn't get the wolves. These webs begin to just sprout from the sides and just immediately cover the hallways, kind of weaving themselves back and forth across the halls. The guards are running forward, and you see one of the guards kind of roll out of the way and avoid it. The other 4 go just straight into the webbing. That guard pulls out his spear, and one of the dire wolves immediately locks onto him, while the other one lunges at one of the currently enwebbed guards, and you just see a spurt of blood cover the white webbing. So they are pretty well engaged right now, and you all continue to make your escape. As you reach the end of the hall, you make a couple of quick turns back and forth, eventually reaching a sort of, looks to be maybe like a kitchen or something, back like servants' quarters. You see a couple of devils back there currently stirring like large cauldrons of something. It's a pretty terrible smell in here, and you just come
Try
busting
some
through
more
the kitchen.
pepper as we run through.
Is there an expensive fork?
You do see one diamond fork sitting across the chamber, and you begin to lunge towards it, but Azon just grabs onto the bag and says, "There's no time," and he pulls you
There's
through,
always time.
pulls you through the door, and you emerge into
One of
a
the cooks is just
courtyard.
like, more time?
Yeah, they put more pepper and they put more time into it. It's the best dinner they have. We cut to later on, 6 hours later, after all of this has concluded, and they're all sitting down for a nice dinner, and it's the best meal that they've had. And the cooks sit there and they think to themselves on the other side of the room, they think, those humans really knew they're cooking.
Except not one of
Not
us is
one of
human.
us?
Whatever.
I
Those
guess
mortals.
Finn might look human.
Yeah, there you go.
I
Those
look
mortals
like
really knew
I
their
look
cooking.
vaguely
stunning
human.
All right.
You bust out into the courtyard, and you see this tall, again, ivory wall surrounds this beautiful like garden. Here, green grass, which you haven't seen before, trees that are growing in this terrain. It looks as close to the like sort of mortal, the material plane and some of the kind of warmer areas of Ishfornen that you've seen. And you come running through, and you can see on the other side of this courtyard, kind of positioned near the back wall, is this large fissure of these kind of spiderweb like cracks running, and this golden light pouring out through it. And you see the other side of the portal. There are a couple more guards that are posted near that portal. Look like they were set up to watch it, and they turn as you exit and immediately take up sort of a defensive posture. However, as soon as they do, there is a flapping of wings, and crashing down on the ground in front of you, you see a red-skinned pit fiend. Not dissimilar to
That's not lobster.
No.
That is not lobster.
the one you saw previously. And Azon kind of comes skidding to a halt, and the pit fiend lands and says, I knew I smelled you here. And
He
begins
doesn't
to pull-
smell.
pulls out his weapon and begins to charge. I need someone to roll for initiative.
He doesn't fucking smell.
You're
They
queen-
don't call
I
him
only-
Yeah.
Finn Initiative for nothing.
I only rolled a 7, so that's 19.
Jeez. No, that's what I want. I want
I rolled a 7.
battle music.
Ah,
Okay. Who has better initiative, the pit fiend or the guards? Both exactly the same. Doesn't matter. Go, Mr. Oh, nope, that's a 6. Okay, so not him. You guys will go first.
How far away from the portal are we?
You're probably about
30 feet?
no, further than that. You're probably close to
35?
like 100 or 150 feet away from the portal. It's a large courtyard, and the
And
pit
it's
is
just-
like directly in the center between
the
you and the
guards.
portal. The guards are kind of between the pit fiend and the portal, so they're a little closer. So from your direct vantage point, you have the palace walls behind you, gardens and trees and bushes and stuff. Pit fiend directly in the center. The guards behind the pit fiend, portal behind them.
I got this, guys. I'll walk up and I'm going to cast fear on the pit.
Ooh.
You cast fear on the pit fiend.
Yeah.
All right.
How dare you
Uh,
say he
Well,
smells?
it's any creature within 30 feet of you.
That's
yeah.
why I'm going to walk in front of you guys because I
30
feel like,
foot
oh,
cone.
guys, come back.
Yeah. So you go running towards the pit fiend and use your action begin to. So what does it look like when you cast fear? Like a screaming vortex or something.
Finn's just going to stink eye him. No.
Ultimate stink eye.
Yeah, I don't know. Picture a Dragon Ball Z character going Super Saiyan.
Okay.
But
So you just
green
kind
and
of
purple,
first.
but with green and purple fire around him.
Yeah. So fire begins to illuminate. I imagine like only the pit fiend sees it. Like from his perspective, you just it engulf in flames and seem very menacing. So he'll make a wisdom saving throw.
Don't you dare say that, Jules. Don't you dare say there's a rip in my shirt, or else I'm not going to cast fear on him. Oh my gosh,
That is a 22.
dang it.
Ooh.
It needed to be an 18.
There is you see him kind of step back for a second, and then as that, from our perspective, the illusion sort of fades, and you just see this grin of these like jagged, hundreds of these jagged white teeth appearing in the pit fiend's mouth, and it lets out a billowing roar. So
Okay.
that's Finn's turn.
Chad is going
I guess
to
I can put these guys on the map. Sorry,
gonna
guys.
start running forward. Say to everyone, just get to the portal. I'll try to keep them back. Don't worry, I'm coming with you. Am I able to get in melee with the Pit Fiend, or is he too far away?
I'll say sure.
Okay, so I am going to try and hit him a whole bunch with Dragon Maru.
Okay.
I don't know if he's had time to heal from when I did it earlier, but let's see how this is due. That's a 24 to hit on the first one. 25 to hit on the second one.
Okay.
That's only a 13 on the third one.
So the first two hit.
Yeah. I am going to make one of these. I need a wisdom save. I just have to decide which effect he's going to get if he fails.
Well, maybe just see just see if he fails or not, and then you have to pick.
Yeah.
Okay, wisdom save.
Yeah.
All right. Wisdom save. This isn't a magical thing, so that's an 18.
Yeah, that succeeds, but he's still going to take some extra damage from the attempted maneuver.
Okay.
So let me roll the damage. That's a 1 on one of the Dragon Maru, so I can re-roll that. That's another 1. I have to keep it. So that is 25 slashing damage across the 2 attacks.
Okay. 25 points slash damage as you connect with 2 large sweeping cuts with Dragon Maru. On the third one, though, as you go to strike with a downward arc, he reaches up and like grabs onto the haft of Dragon Maru and just sort of pulls you forwards, kind of sneering in your face, and says, "I remember you." All right, so that's Chad, Jules, and Hilda.
Oh man. Okay. So it's like this guy is in between us and the portal, and then there's the 2 dudes near it. What is the distance from where we are to the portal?
The portal, like I said, probably a little over 100 feet.
100 feet. Okay. Okay. Well then, I would like to bring back old favorite and cast Crown of Madness on one of the guards.
Okay. What is that say?
Let me click it.
I think it's a wisdom.
Oh, wisdom saving throw.
Okay. That's a 24.
Heck! Okay, so that doesn't work. And I will ask you a question in just a minute.
That's fine.
But it's gonna kind of keep trying to run forward.
Okay. Finn, you also could ask a question for the failed fear spell. I forgot about that.
Yeah, spell failure.
But we can get to that in a second if you guys want to wait. That'll be the Jules, it's your turn, and then I'll do Matthias and
When you guys say you run forward, do you mean towards the portal, or do you mean where's the ray going? I know where Chad went. Where the rest
everything is in
the portal.
Everything's
kind of in one direction and forward.
Right. Then I will also run forward.
Okay. You're essentially you are all putting yourselves like right near where the Pit Fiend is, moving forward.
Yep.
Okay.
I would like the creature's current hit points when you have a chance. The big dude who doesn't like me.
Sorry, I can't hear you. I couldn't hear what you said.
Current hit points.
Current hit points? 275.
So 2 hits from Chad. Got it.
You got it, Chad. 2 hits. No pressure.
So Jules, what you run forward?
Yeah, I'm gonna run forward. I guess if the Pit Fiend is on the way, can I use my bonus action to cast a holy weapon on my mace?
Sure.
And then swing it.
Okay.
At the Pit Fiend.
Make your attack.
Okay, that is a 21.
That hits.
So I get an extra 2d8 radiant damage.
All right.
That's 19 damage.
Nice. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Azon is going to go running up since Chad is in melee. Pulls out his daggers, this time not running away, braving down this foe. My sheet will not expand all the way. I hate it when it does this. He's going to do 2 dagger attacks. That is a 24 and a 13, but the 24 hits. And he will get sneak attack, so that's 21 points of damage.
Heck yeah.
Nice, as he kind of runs up as the pit fiend is holding on to your axe, sticks it behind, then just shoves the dagger into the side, kind of going for like a kidney stab. The pit fiend lets go of your axe in that moment, lets out a roar, kind of swiping back at Azon. Matthias is going to let me see. Is Hilda, you're a bit slower than everyone else. I think you only got a 25 feet.
Yeah, I got little legs.
Matthias comes running past and is going to use his action. He says, I hope this helps, and is going to cast fly on you. You have a 60-foot fly speed.
Heck yeah.
Actually, he can cast that on a couple of people. I forgot he's cast everything at 5th level. So he can cast fly on 3 people. So he can cast it on you. He's going to cast it on himself. He's going to cast it on Jules and Chad are in melee and stuff. You don't need it. He'll throw it on to Jules, I think.
Sweet.
Because I think everyone else can do a lot more dashing and stuff. And Chad's tanky. Okay, that will be... Yeah, so Matthias just goes zooming forward with that. That's his action. Nobody's taking any damage. All right.
I would like to at least move... What, you said it's 100 feet away?
About, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to move my 30 feet and try and avoid the pit fiend.
Yeah, and you know the fly speed now, so you and...
I don't know.
Or no, you. Yeah, you don't. So you move your 30 feet to get closer. All right. And Hilda, you have a little more movement speed, so you could move a little bit further if you wanted to. Jules and melee. Okay, cool. That's going to put it to their turn now. The guards I'm going to do first. They come running in. One of the guards is going to use his action, pulls out a horn from his belt and blows it, and this deep, ominous ringing noise emanates from the horn, presumably summoning more baddies. Is going to make some attacks. Okay. You see these gilded devils come running forward, and you watch as 2 of them pull out spears, and the one remaining one, you see all this jewelry that is kind of adorning his body and glistening around, holds out a hand, and you watch as all the metal kind of liquefies at once and runs down, circling around his arm, and then forming into this glistening golden flail on his kind of dragging behind him on his right arm, and he is going to make an attack against Jules. So that'll be a 2 attacks against you. It's a 27 and a 23.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those hit me.
All right. That'll be 10 points of bludgeoning and 12 points of bludgeoning, so a total of 22.
Okay. 2 things. I want to make a concentration check.
Okay.
Which is very good. 22. Yeah.
22. Okay. Yeah, you succeed on that.
Good. Oh, man. Well, I have advantage, but good. I succeed. And then I would like to use my reaction since he hit me, which doesn't happen that much, to use the flashbang on my mace, which I don't think I've actually ever used.
Yeah.
So he has to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. That's a 19.
Oh, that succeeds. Well,
Okay.
nothing happens.
Good try, though. Okay, that's gonna be that one's turns. The other two are gonna stab forward with spears. Actually, I think they see some of you flying in the air. They're gonna hurl their spears in your directions. So I'm gonna do one against Matthias, one against. Actually, Finn, you're on the ground, so I think it's gonna be one throw against Matthias, and then one runs up and is gonna try to stab at you, Finn.
Bring it.
So Matthias, that is a 20 to hit. Finn, that is a 20 to hit.
Okay, it hits.
Okay. Finn, that's 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Piercing, actually.
Or sorry, piercing, not bludgeoning. 10 points to Matthias. Okay, and that is the Pit Fiend's turn. He turns and rounds on your those of you that are surrounding. I think he's gonna definitely make an attack against Azon with his bite. It's gonna be a 20 to hit for 23 piercing damage to Azon.
And Azon is still smiling through all of this.
Yeah, smiling boy. And I don't think Azon needs to make a save because he's immune to poison. Okay, and then it's going to be some claw attacks against. Oh no, one claw attack. I think it's also going to be against Azon because he really doesn't like it. That's 2 natural ones. It wasn't rolling initiative or advantage, but just the auto advantage. And that would have been 2 natural ones with advantage, so never mind. And he's going to do a mace attack against Chad. That's a 22.
Yeah, that hits.
For 12 bludgeoning and 19 fire, which I think you're since you're resistant
Fire's
to.
resisted. Yeah.
So 9 points of fire damage.
Okay, so that's 18 total. How much
9
is
plus
it?
12, 21.
21. Okay.
And then for his last attack, with his tail, is going to, fuck Azon. He's gonna hit him again. That's a natural 20. So that's 42 points damage to Azon with the tail attack. Azon is not looking good.
Oh no!
He's got 8 hit points left. That ends his turn. Back to y'all.
Can we tell Azon to please disengage and run away?
I think is what we all should do right now, everyone. Remember when I said, hey, we should run?
Yeah.
Hey, Chad, just run first.
I-
Try and get him to swing at you.
Can I have something I want to try.
Okay.
And by try, I mean, I'm going to use my bonus action to dismiss Holy Weapon, because it explodes.
Oh, yeah.
In a burst of beautiful, radiant light. So everybody that I choose, which is all the
that's so
bad
good.
ones, have to make a Constitution saving throw.
That's so good. That's the ones you choose. Okay.
Every creature of your choice. Well, yeah, this shit's a 5th level spell. I'm not
It's
playing
within
games anymore.
How big of a
It's
range?
30 feet.
Okay. I think that'll cover everyone. So everyone sort of just moved in. Okay. We'll do some con saves
Taking
then.
this seriously, my DC is 18.
Okay. 2 of the Gilded Devils fail, 2 succeed.
Okay, so it's 48 radiant damage is half on a success. So
The
hold
Pit
on.
Fiend rolls like a 31.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
Oh.
That's-
Just the 31.
it's 24 radiant damage, halved if they succeed, and if they failed, they're blind.
okay. So here's what I'm gonna say. These 2. What was the number on that again? Sorry.
I already forgot the number I said. 15.
42, I think you said.
Oh no, it wasn't that much. I think it was 22.
22. 22. 22.
I say numbers and then they immediately leave my brain.
11.
Yeah, it's only 48, so
11 and 11, and then 2 of them are blinded. I'm gonna say the one that's blinded is the one that's next to you.
good.
The other one that's blinded, I'll say is the one. Who else did got within melee?
The one going after Finn.
One Finn. Yeah, we'll say that
Great.
the one that Finn is next to is also blinded. Okay. Sweet.
That's my bonus action.
Okay.
I'm gonna take off.
We need one
All
of
right.
the tankies to run away from the pit first.
Yeah, Jules is gonna run, and then
gonna
so you'll
fly.
take the fly. Oh, that's right, because you have fly. So you'll take the attack of opportunity, but
Cool.
you'll get out of there. So he's gonna make a bite attack against you with his attack of opportunity, because might as well use the beefiest thing he's got. Actually, no, he's gonna use a mace. That one's better.
Does he even know she left?
The pit fiend, he's not blinded.
Oh.
Yeah.
He rolled like a 31.
The gilded devil is not going to make an attack of opportunity because
Yeah.
he is blinded, so he does not see you leave his
Yeah,
range.
makes sense.
That's what I was hoping for when I did that.
Pit fiend rolls a 19, so I think that misses.
That
you,
misses
doesn't
me!
it?
Oh.
So the pit fiend goes to strike out at you, and you turn in the air and hold up your shield, and it just like propels you backwards as it slams in, and it just kind of goes tumbling end over end towards
Rolling thunder!
towards the portal. And with your fly speed, you're pretty much like right up on it, and all the gilded devils turn and they see you and they begin to sort of panic as you're right there.
Right there. But I wait.
And you say that 4-letter word and dash. Sorry.
No, I'm gonna wait.
Okay. I would like to, as I'm sort of flying by, cast haste on
Okay.
Chad.
Okay.
So, and just like, as well as inspire Azon,
Okay.
just in case.
All right.
Let's make a death save soon.
Yeah, Azon is inspired. He's very badly off. Azon is just bonus action, regular speed, dashing towards the portal. Makes it right
Okay.
up to the portal as well.
You should be able to make it through with 90 feet.
He can. I mean, I guess dramatically, I was going to wait and have him wait at
Oh,
the
yeah.
portal for you, but he could just go ahead and be like, fuck off, bye. With 90 feet, well, I'm going to
Does he
say
have
with
to
90
move
feet,
up
he's
to the
right up there.
pit
I'm going
thing?
to say for the dramatic tension here, he's right up
Yes.
on the thing.
Just
Because,
don't kill him off. He's done well.
well, we'll see.
He's in my
Um,
suit.
So that's Azon. The Matthias will do the same. He starts moving towards it. I think he makes a couple of pot shots at the devils with his Eldritch Blast. So Chad, his name,
Chad
what else is
and
everybody?
Ben. I'm making sure Chad runs
Okay.
before I run because he gonna be left behind otherwise.
Yeah, and Chad, the same thing because you move 60 feet.
Now, yeah.
And then if you dash, you can move like 120,
So
and then you could.
60, yeah, I get the free dash from haste, which means I still have my action, right?
You do, yeah.
So before I leave, I'm just gonna wail on the pit fiend a bit more.
Okay.
Sir?
I mean, unless I'm doing my math wrong, I have enough to do this and make it to the portal.
Yes.
easily.
Okay.
So,
That's
let me-
Chad, the taxi's here. We've got to go. Like,
yes, but I'm
It's
gonna
like, one more minute. What?
gonna
one
try
more
and do
minute.
something to keep
It's
him
gotta
from
kill
coming
this
after
boss
us.
first.
Uber only waits for
Can't
5 minutes,
pause.
Chad.
I
28,
can't pause an online
23,
game.
and
Can't
22
pause.
to hit.
Okay. 28, 23, 22, those all hit.
So I'm gonna need a wisdom save.
Okay.
It's
24,
Okay, I need another wisdom save as I try again.
16.
That meets. So I guess one more.
14.
That fails. So
No problem.
he is going to. All of those were menacing attacks, so he's now frightened of me and can't move any closer to me.
Okay. He takes a shit ton of damage and then starts to back up. It's probably not enough to kill him.
But let me roll anyway.
Okay. So you do that, and then you just start running towards the.
I got 2 12s,
Nice.
and one of them was a 2,
Oh.
so let me re-roll that.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Now I really want to know how low health this guy is. We can finish him off.
so, let's see. 45 points of slashing damage across 3 attacks.
Okay. 45 points a day. He's almost to half.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna be petty. I'm gonna action surge and hit him again.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Chad.
No. I need to get out.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna run
Get
a
the
quick.
clock
I'm just
going.
gonna run a quick ad break on the stream while Chad takes the rest of his
No.
17 attacks.
No,
Okay,
I
so
do those.
Chad-
Yep.
At your super fast speed, you run all the way and you reach just the portal. You feel this like intense pressure emanating from the portal. The rest of your companions are moving towards it. You could move through it right now if you want to. Are you going to, or are you going to wait?
I'm going to wait because this could be absolutely nothing. But since you mentioned the pressure, Chad has this what if once I go through the portal closes, so
Okay.
everyone else needs to get through first.
Okay.
I'm just gonna run and jump straight through because my buddy Azon's on the other side and there could be demons fucking him up. I want to run out, gun ready, and be ready to just shoot.
So you are moving through, Finn, or you're not?
Azon
Okay.
went through, right? Or did he
No,
decide to
Azon didn't
wait?
go through.
Oh,
Azon's
I'm still
also
gonna run
waiting.
and jump through. Screw you guys. I'm gonna go the other way.
Okay, Finn just runs and then disappears through the portal.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Someone's got to make sure it works.
Yeah, there you go.
He disappears.
First.
There's just like rippling to the portal, but nothing else happens. I'm not going to describe to Finn what happens because it's going to spoil everything. The rest of you move towards it. Any other actions or anything that we're going to be taking other than just moving towards it for those of you that can? Okay.
No.
Oh wait, I guess
not
I can
really.
heal Azon a little
Okay.
bit.
That'd probably be good.
Let me get that guy a cure wounds. At 3rd level.
Okay.
Wow, I rolled really good. Why can't I roll this good on PCs? $32.
All right. 32 points of healing damage to Azon. He's
27,
looking.
Take 5.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's
I
with the
forgot
minus
about
5.
that. Oh, that is
Oh.
nice.
Okay.
Nice. Okay.
Nice. Yeah, it brings him back up to 40. So he's over half health now, up and
He's
down.
almost healthier than me.
So he is looking better. All of you are moving towards the portal as you're about to turn and make that last push. You see the pit fiend backing up and moving away. It's actually really good that Chad stayed on this side, because if Chad had moved over, the pit fiend would not be scared of anyone else that's over here. The pit fiend continues to back and kind of start to move away. You see the guards running towards you, but they all freeze as there is an explosion back at the tower, that central dome, and you see streaking out of their massive black wings unfurling. You see Zariel streaking through the air of her 240-foot fly speed, and she comes swooping down and lands, getting very close as she's reaching out, and with the look of fury across her face. And you see the chains around her tighten, and there is this moment of like stillness, and the only thing she can do right now, it's going to reach you guys, and I just want to be able to use this thing. She uses her shriek of 10,000 cuts, and she lets out a nightmarish shriek, reliving the agony of 1,000 years in damnation. And in a 60-foot cone, I need all of you still on the side of the portal to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh gosh. Oh boy.
It
Wisdom.
was here where Finn realized he is the last hope of
Gosh.
vagrants.
I'm gonna use Indomitable again.
I rolled a 27.
Nice, you succeed.
I'm hoping this is enough. 23.
You succeed.
20
You fail.
total. Okay.
Point.
Matthias will roll his. That's gonna be
I
a
do, but I don't know
fail.
what's gonna happen.
And Azon will roll his, and he has the inspiration.
He has been inspired. He gets a D10.
Well, he's -1 to his wisdom, so that's a 4. I don't even think with the D10 he could
No.
hold on to it. So all of you that succeeded take half damage, which is going to be. I need to do some quick math here.
Well, that's not terrifying.
Just math.
Look, he's like, I'm gonna keep him on this side for the dramatic effect. It's like, I just want to use this ability. So
yeah, I
let's
just
stay
really
on
just want to use
side.
this ability. So that is, the full damage is 76 points of psychic and
And
slashing damage.
ow,
So
How much is what?
makes sense.
psychic damage is 35, 41 points of slashing.
What's half of that?
That's what I was trying to do the math on. I think it is 30.
Woof, that hurt.
I can't do math. What's 76
Six,
divided by
seven?
2?
38.
38. Thank you. 38 points of damage to everyone else.
I still would have went down with my resistance to psychic damage.
I'm glad you went through.
Matthias is still up. He takes the
Okay.
76.
Yeah.
Not looking great. Azon falls unconscious.
God damn it.
Luckily he
Probably
healed
would have
him.
died outright if he hadn't gotten that healing. So Azon collapses to the ground. The rest of you are right there. Zariel shrieking and gliding down towards all of you, wings beating furiously. Do you all move through the portal?
I grab Azon
Everyone else through first.
because I can
All
fly.
right.
I'm just gonna scoop him right up.
All right. Hilda,
Yeah.
you go rushing through. Matthias does as well. Jules, you grab onto Azon's arm and you drag him through the portal with you. And Chad, as you see Zariel just feet away, streaking through the air towards you, you back up into the portal, and everything fades to white.
But before
To
Chad
try
goes
again
through the
next
portal,
family
he-
reunion.
Next family reunion.
Chad takes the deal before he walks through the portal.
How dare you?
Sure, come in.
And everything goes quiet and still. And you all find yourselves drifting in this white space. And we're going to go ahead and take our break there.
Oh man.
So, we'll be back in a little bit, guys, to finish up the rest of the session. See what things are like on the other side. If they've made it to the other side, who knows where the group is right now. And
Who
we'll
knows?
be right back. So stay tuned for a couple of minutes, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back, internet. Thanks for joining us on our break. Let's just jump back into it from where we left off. My cat is eating Christmas decorations. Hold on one second. Get out. All right. Did my music not start? Oh, there we go. Yeah. As you all step through the portal, you find yourselves drifting in this white void. You look around, and the four of you see each other here. You don't see Azon, and you don't see Matthias. And as you spin in place and kind of look and survey your surroundings, suddenly a figure does take form in front of the four of you. A very tall, thin, humanoid-looking individual with long black hair, dark tan skin, and golden eyes looks over all of you in turn. And as they open their mouth to speak, everything fades to blackness once again. And as you all open, you feel that soreness and that aching from that final blast of energy and the that brief fight against the pit fiend, and you open your eyes and it's bright. And as your eyes adjust, you look around and you see trees, buildings, cobblestone. You hear hooves, and you hear the clinking of metal as a dozen guards surround all of you. And there is shouts of panic as you see the city guard or town guard of Quildun encircling you. And one of them kneels down and says, Where did you come from?
It's a really long story, mate.
We request an audience with Lord Alabaster.
One of them from the back says, That's the hope of vagrants. They went missing during the attack.
That's us.
And you see a familiar-looking individual step forward. One of the town guards.
Yes, he survived.
Oh man, I'm frantically looking through my notes trying to remember his name.
I feel like it starts with
I
a
gotta
D.
look for it over break.
I think it starts with a D, like Dirk? Is it Dirk?
Yes, Dirk.
Dirk.
Yes, I remembered.
You see Dirk, a little, kind of a little scruffy looking, and his town guard. He says, "I can't believe you're all still alive." It looks down and holds out a hand to help you stand up, and one by one, helping each of you look around. You see Matthias.
Okay, I was gonna look around.
You see a couple of the guards kind of looking over at Azon, and they begin to like draw their spears.
Oh god, he's unconscious.
Level them down at his unconscious body.
He's with us. Leave him alone.
No. Can I scoop him up and try to heal him? Oh god, please let me down.
Wait, the demons with the devils with you?
As we said, it's a long story, but we vouch for him.
Scoop him up and try to heal him.
All right. Then let's do that. We should get you away from the rift, though. And you turn around and you can see still here in the center of the city, you see closed and kind of looks to be mostly sealed. You see the rift this just like faintly, almost imperceptible in the noon day sun, ethereal line that kind of cuts through the air in the middle of what was the town square. And as you all kind of got kind of a survey your surroundings, you can see there's been a wall kind of constructed around this kind of ringing this portal, and there are guards posted at it, and they are sort of frantically trying to figure out what to make of this, and they're calming down, and the news is kind of being passed around. But yeah, it's still present, but it looks like it's Hilda, as far as you can tell, based on your magical prowess. It looks like it's been kind of sealed from this side.
That's a good side. I think it's
Slap Dirk on the back. You captain yet? You captain on the guard yet?
No, it hasn't been that long.
How long
has it been? Just since we've been gone.
Since you've been gone,
you can breathe for the first time.
I feel like I can breathe for the first time. I've just been stumbling on. Yeah. Well, thanks to you.
No.
I mean, now I get what I want. I've lost it at the end there.
Stop.
He says, it's been about 2 months.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
no, it
quite a long time.
hasn't. It's been maybe 6-7 days at most. Feels like a few months.
I'd say so. You all look a bit worse for wear.
Oh yeah, because I didn't realize everyone else looks half dead.
Yeah, we
they
look
all
like
fine when I left. It's like,
You look kind of.
is that because
I
I
don't
wasn't
actually-
there? You guys just always look terrible. I'm back, guys. No need to worry. I didn't leave you.
The queen was not too happy that we left Finn. Let us know.
She missed me. Have that effect on people?
Yeah, that's definitely what it was.
You hear a sound of a kind of a commotion towards what looks like one of the like gates that enters this kind of pavilion that's been constructed, and a tall figure begins to push through the crowd. And you hear, "What's all the ruckus here? Who's pushed through? What do you mean someone's come through the portal? Let me look at it." As you kind of push through, you see a very tall Goliath man, very thin, wearing robes. And you see a large, it's kind of a golden emblazed eye on the front of him, of the Arcanus Imperium. Hilda, you recognize this man.
No.
Uh-oh.
This, as Dean Drustin Garach, the dean of the college here in Ishvornen, and says, "Now I put up that barrier myself. There's no way somebody." Now what the fuck happened here? And kind of looks over all of you and says, "They didn't come through the pool. There's no."
We did in fact come through the portal.
Looks down at
Folds her arms and looks so mad.
Bellsinger, is that you?
It is indeed, and I just got back from hell, and I don't want to deal with you right now, unless you have something nice to say.
Shut. Looks back and to some other, like, you see like lesser mages that are coming in, kind of following behind. Says, "Make sure the warding's still up. Make sure that nothing's been damaged from that. We don't want anything else coming through." Should have known you'd be involved in something like this. And kind of goes stumbling back and says, "If you feel like talking about what happened, you can find me at the beacon."
So Hilda, when did you two,
Don't you start with me, Finn?
clearly there was some tension there.
We'll talk about it later.
Oh, that's juicy, cousin.
No, it's not anything like that. I know what you might be thinking.
Yes, in college everyone does stuff.
Dirk says, "So you said you wanted to go see Lord Alabaster?"
Assuming he survived the attack. Last we saw, he was
Oh.
in rather rough condition.
He's all right. He's recovered. I think he'd like to see you. Considering you like, you know, saved the city and everything, according to his account.
He does know we saved the city because
Aye.
I remember Chad attacked him previously.
Well, the story that
Hey, maybe you don't just say those words out loud.
the story as he told it was that there was some bizarre ritual. One of the delegates from your hometown kind of gestures to you, Chaz. But your father was talked about it too, kind of squared everything up. Nobody's seen anything from your stepmother, Lady Delilah.
I doubt they will.
But anyways, he told it that you stopped the ritual and that there was some sort of explosion, and then y'all just sort of disappeared. Everybody sort of assumed you were dead.
Well, we were in the hells, but we're back.
All right, we'll take you up to the beacon now, and we'll talk to him right away. I'm sure he's gonna want to talk to you. Come on, let's go. And he walks you all over to probably a wagon or something,
including Azon, because I said I healed him a long time ago.
And Azon is kind of step up. Sorry about that. Azon has kind of stood up, and the guards are still.
He got 12 hit points.
12 hit points.
Oh, okay.
Azon has sat up and is like, "No, where are we?"
I'm gonna put the hood on him and just be like,
God, it's bright here.
Oh, this is nothing.
Welcome to
Is it like an overcast day?
Wait, did we make it?
Stop it.
Yeah. Welcome to Sarthia.
Oh, he's smiling even wider.
Oh God, put him back in.
You see a lot of the guards kind of like here. He says, "I can't believe we made it. Less people are going to be hunting me." Oh,
I should hope less people.
thank you.
For now.
Thank you. I don't know really how to repay you for all of this.
Well, why don't you come with us? We have to go talk to the leader of this town and let them know.
Of course. I'm sure there's people I need to swear blood oaths to, and
We're not so big on that here, but we'll figure things out.
Yeah, he's probably just gonna pay us.
So I cut my hand and you cut your hand and we shake hands. Is that blood oath?
Are you still on the cutting thing or?
He said a blood oath.
it's usually either that or that's usually a lesser one. Usually swearing fealty to a lord, or is usually killing your closest immediate family member.
You don't have any of those?
No, I don't. So I'd have to.
Yeah,
but I don't have to do that.
You don't have to do
No,
that.
yeah. Usually here it's just like signing a piece of paper or
That's it.
paying
Chad's
taxes
not
or
allowed
something.
To do anymore.
I can't wait to learn more about this wonderful place.
Come on, buddy.
And Matthias is also with you, looking rough. He's like, "Oh God, we made it." Whew.
Well, just though.
And you all get in the back of the wagon and are escorted up to the beacon. You see people kind of gathering. The town looks like it's mostly been repaired in the last 2 months. There are still some remnants of buildings that burned out and that haven't been fully reconstructed. Still some remains of damages, but everything is mostly back to the way it was before. There is a heavy guard presence in the town. Especially around this area that has been cleared out where this portal is. It looks like most of the buildings around here were not rebuilt. They were actually leveled, and there was there's a large kind of guard outpost surrounding this rift in the center of the city. As you wander out to the beacon, though, you can see it's also is still in the process of being repaired, but that burning fire at the top is now alight once again. And people are making their way in and out. Some people whispering and kind of pointing as they see all of you, rumoring who you all might be. They're saying it's been a couple months. And the carriage or the wagon comes to a stop, and you all begin to unload, and you hear a voice from the steps of the beacon says, No, what's going on here, Dirk? We didn't have any appointments here today. And you see Sebastian coming down the staircase. And he stops. Oh, God. You're alive! Yay!
I want to run up and give him a hug.
Oh, God, no, that's not necessary. He's just, oh, please.
It's like,
No hard feelings about last time I saw you.
No, water under the bridge, I guess. Please, let go of me, though. Hilda, it's good to see you. The rest of you...
This is going to be awkward when all three of Hilda's friends are going to be all together and just...
Oh, no.
Let's, I assume you...
Stuff like that?
I assume you are seeking audience with the Council Lord. He'll probably be happy to see you. Follow me. I'll take you in there. I'm sure this is worth the interruption. And he leads you up the steps towards the inside of the beacon. As you enter and the doors open, you hear kind of a conversation from beyond. He says, Sebastian says, please just wait here for one moment. And he moves through the doors, which kind of closes partially and stays a little bit open, so you hear some muffled conversation inside. And you hear like...
My eavesdrop.
Sure. Make a perception check.
Yes. Eavesdrop for the win. 12.
You hear...
Should be noted, he rolled a natural 1 and got a 12.
12.
Dang, son.
You catch little bits of the conversation, but not really enough. And it doesn't seem like anything interesting. It's mostly like grain taxes and some late shipments and things like that. And everything kind of stops for a second. And you hear, what? And there's a bit of shuffling from inside, and the doors swing open. You see, holding the doors open, Lord Alabaster, looking much as he did the last time you saw him. He has a scar kind of running down the right side of his face that looks healed, mostly over. And he says, "You're alive."
Yeah.
Sir.
I saw you die.
No, you didn't.
Well,
That's a lie.
Saw us jump into what turned out to be an interdimensional portal, but... yes, I
Right,
can
not
see
all
how
of us jumped.
Yes,
Yeah,
but-
some of us the floor fell out from us.
Yeah, there
Unless you
was.
saw something different.
No, I saw you jump into the portal, and then it closed behind you. You didn't come back out, and then we waited, and you didn't come back out, and then
You didn't wait long enough.
apparently not.
Or at the right place if you're waiting.
Please, come in. He looks around. You can see some merchants in the room that are kind of vaguely irritated. He says, "Clear out the lot here right now. I've got some business to take care of. We'll deal with the rest of this later." And they begin to leave the audience chamber. And he goes over and kind of slumps down on his throne. And Sebastian also heads over to his steward's little table there to gather some papers. And what about Alabaster says, "I can't you believe that you're still alive.
Neither can we.
We owe you a incredible debt for what you
Ask
did.
For one favor right now. Can we get some proper food?
Anything. Oh, of course. Sebastian, get them. Have the cooks
Not
get
good berries or whatever we've been eating.
It's mostly been like oatmeal and water. It's just a
Something
very
with
bland
flavor.
sustenance.
He says, have the cooks bring in the lunch early and get everything they can together, as much as they can. And
Thank goodness.
Sebastian says, yes, and kind of goes less hurriedly walking off. And within a bit, food is presented and laid out on the this kind of war table. This isn't really a space meant for eating, but they bring it all in here so that you guys can eat while you're discussing.
Every space is a space meant for eating.
That's true. How much do you tell the council lord about what happened?
That's a good question. How much do we tell?
Well,
Or do you just kind of broad strokes it?
I think broad strokes. We went to the depths, fought some powerful entities, managed to make our way to the portal on that side and get out, preventing another attempt by them to force more of their armies through.
And made some friends along the way.
Yes. Yeah.
As you're finishing your story, and the Azon is still in the room too, and as things have kind of calmed down, Azon's been kind of picking at the food and like eating it, then kind of he like makes a kind of a weird face at some of it, and some of like the meats and stuff he enjoys a bit more, and maybe a couple of the vegetables. The fruits he just does not understand. He's like, this tastes like terrible. Do you eat this? It's the worst thing I've ever eaten.
How would you like it to taste? And I'll prestige.
It tastes like my mouth is rotting when I bite it. I don't know how else to describe it.
I'm not sure you understand rot.
Okay, I'm gonna make it try and taste what I think they ate in hell. Does that taste better?
Make an intelligence check.
It's prestidigitation. It tastes however you want it to taste.
It tastes however you want it to taste.
What do you think?
Make an intelligence check for this approximation of hell food.
I asked him for a description.
How do you describe a color? It's
It tastes like chicken.
He takes a bite of it. He's like, I think that's worse than what it was before.
Well,
thank you though.
Now you will appreciate it even more.
And as you're finishing the story and the food and filled to your heart's content, the council lord says, that has to be one of the wildest stories that I've heard. And we were attacked by an army of fiends 2 months ago, so that's something.
In regards to that, is there a reward for defending people?
Of course.
I would settle for a split metal rod worth 250 gold pieces attuned to this plane.
I don't have any of that on hand. I might be able to.
Gosh.
If you can supply the rod, we can do the attunement. But literally, I would sell my soul for a forked metal rod.
You know what? Sebastian, I want you to work on that right away.
If I end up in hell again, I won't be able to come home straight away.
Of course. Sebastian, get. You probably understand that more than I do. Do it, I guess. And Sebastian says,
I know we said no deals, but I would sell my actual soul for that.
Sebastian says, I think I can work something out. I'll get it to you within the week. And just don't go jumping through any more portals between now and then.
Not all of us jumped.
Sounds fair. I'm with you.
The counselor says, I believe so. A few things have happened. We were trying to decide what to do with the Hope of Vagrants, since every member of it, as far as we could tell, died during the attack. And you were the ones that had fulfilled the contract, and we owed you a great debt for it. So we've been keeping the funds for it. We were actually going to make a sort of a monument to your bravery once the repairs had been completed. I just had the diagrams made, so I guess it's a bit awkward to make a monument to someone still alive.
You still can, in my opinion.
You don't have to do that.
Don't know. Could be nice.
You could. Can I have a look at the diagram first? And be like,
if you want to see it, I'll have Sebastian show him the diagram. He takes that and spreads it out on the war table, and it is a good likeness of
Well, I've now got a scar here. And...
of the
Jules looks wildly uncomfortable.
The four of you and Matthias and
he made it in.
There's also one for I think Dog is also on the monument. Because as far as anyone knows, he's still a member of your guild.
I'm going to turn and ask the rest of the group, who's this? That's the person with the floating. Oh my god! Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
If there's anything that needs to be changed with the monument, we can certainly do that.
Oh, we could just not.
Yeah,
Oh, it seems a bit small.
Yeah, we could just not do it.
Sure. Well, you know what? We'll take the money that we were going to be using to construct it, and we'll add it to your reward. I believe the sum of the reward for dispatching the Bandit King was 10,000 gold pieces. So we'll have that. No, it was a single contract for the guild, but I think you deserve more than that, considering what's happened. So I know that there had been some discussion back when we initially drew up the paperwork for your guild to, as a dragon flies overhead.
Oh no!
I'm not ready for this. That's a different adventuring parties issue.
Listen, this time you're on your own. Fuck this.
We built a number of jet planes for you.
It hasn't been 2 months. It's been 200 years.
He says, we could have a guild hall commission for you within the town. Give you and sparing no expense for it. Whatever you need there, fully covered by the town.
I like this building. We have this building.
This is mine. But we'll build you one.
This is mine.
But we're going to build you one almost as good. How about that? To your specifications within the city. We have a few derelict buildings, unfortunately, from people that died during the attack that the city hasn't sold yet, haven't had any buyers for. So we can we'll rebuild it from the ground up, whatever it is you need.
Like the sound of that. We'll discuss some of that in more detail later.
I'll have Sebastian come by wherever you're going to be staying, and of course, wherever you stay within the town, I'll get you set up at the best inn.
We get our own town guards.
Do you need guards?
Yeah.
I can't imagine any of my guards are better trained than you lot.
Dirk's pretty good.
I mean, I can't remember if...
Yeah, that guy needs a promotion.
I don't think Dirk is in the room right now. He says...
he saved Sebastian's life during the attack.
Oh, yeah, Corporal Dirk. Yeah, I mean, he's...
Captain Dirk thing there.
He's made a good name for himself. I imagine he'll make captain fairly soon. He's motivated that one. I can't just go and promote people because...
Oh, shit!
Just the one?
You can look after our
I'll speak with his commanding officer and discuss it. I don't know enough about his performance to make that call. But I will put in a good word for him. How about that? And if needed, if we need any guards positioned outside of your guild hall, I'll make sure he gets that detail. Yes. So, the sum of your reward, though, and he talks to Sebastian for a moment, and Sebastian draws up the paperwork, and he says, "So this sum, it'll be kept with the banks, but here is your notice of credit within the city for whatever it is that you might need." He draws up the paperwork for your 10,000 gold.
Dang, guys!
Make that out to Finn space-ish.
Sebastian looks at you dead in the eye as he makes it out to the guild.
Hell yeah!
and then just hands it to Chad. And then says,
Chad of all people.
Says,
This bullshit. He
I believe that this
attacks
matter is
people,
settled then.
opens up portals, and he gets the fucking check.
Certainly for now. As I said, we'll get into details later. I think right now, most of us would like to sleep for several hours.
Or
Days.
please. Ugh.
Check gets the
There. Okay. So, question about what happened after we left.
Oi.
Was there only the one portal? One that you built the.
So the portal that they came through, we dealt with that. We found the obelisk or underneath the city. We haven't been able to move it, but I have the mages from the Imperium have been, by all accounts and by the reports that Sebastian has brought before me, seems that they have it under hand. There was some discussion, I believe, before you left, before the incident occurred. We had learned that there might be more than one. So my agents had received word to Lord... I forget names. Lord Museldorf and Klambala, when he returned, scoured his city, and I had the other respective council lords scour theirs. We located one more stone in Klambala that was taken to the capital, where it's been suitably stored away and is being planned to be transported to the Imperium in Ondak here.
Well, that's good. That was as we suspected. Glad those have been dealt with.
I haven't found any more, so unless you know of one buried somewhere, then I think the matter is dealt with.
What's a priestess lady? Very cranky the day of the attack. She came up here to talk to Lord blah 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 blah.
I know you're talking about now. I have to remember her name. I think it was Sister Edith was the name.
Yeah.
Says
Did she survive?
I don't really remember much about that night, so I'm not sure. And Sebastian says, I believe I know what you're talking about. Sister Edith was seen. Yes, she's fine. I doubt
Oh,
even
that's
an
good
army
to
of
hear.
devils could.
I know she could have single-handedly ended this war.
Yes. Lord Alabaster says, well, it's like you said, I'm sure you're tired. Please, anything that you need while you're here. And we'll get the paperwork drawn up, and we'll get things moving on getting your guild hall constructed.
One final thing. Can you tell your guards not to attack the smiley guy in the sea?
You mean that one? He points over to Azon.
Azon.
Pointing's rude.
Azon says, yes, my liege, and he kind of like bows a bit. He says, I am here to swear my fealty to you, your lordship, and your domain. Kind of looking around, I will kill all of your enemies should you ask. I am at your... And Lord Alabaster's looking is like, is this guy real?
They have different ways of things in the depths, but Izon means well.
Azon says, is that the correct means of
You're doing great.
swearing my fealty? Do I have to sign? You said there was something I need to sign.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna grab out the guild charter and get him to sign the guild charter.
Is this to pledge my loyalty?
Yeah, I'm just gonna need your signature like 80 times because that's a lot of things.
It's just saying that you are with us.
You're
Oh, Matthias, is your name on here?
Yeah, I think I signed it before you.
No, I'm pretty certain my name's first. See, look, it's
It's just like Finn is like the biggest one.
Finn, sometimes you are so lucky that my god is the god of life. Like, I just...
And Azon does sign the charter. It is added to your guild. And Lord Alabaster says, if you trust him, or God, I'm going back and forth the names. If you trust him, then I won't question your choices, but I'll let my guard know not to bother. We don't see many devils walking around the city, so
hopefully you won't. For the
everybody's
very
kind
far
of on
future.
edge after what happened, you know.
Just understandable. So we might try to figure out the different solution.
But you're welcome. As a citizen of Gwildon, if you're a member of the Vagrants, then you're a member of our city.
You get him out of many disguises. Just like...
So you have your gold. You go back. Do you guys go to like a nicer inn? Or do you go back to the Iron Creek in your old standard?
Oh man, is it still standing?
Yes, I would say it's standing. It was near the edge of the city, so probably
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because you're able to like walk out. I remember.
Yeah.
My horse!
Oh Jesus.
Beast!
You hear a gunshot.
Beast, are you
It
still
didn't
alive?
survive.
Make it back to the Iron Creek Inn, and the halfling innkeep sees you enter and kind of freaks out for a second and says, where am I dead?
Just
Are you
have an
ghosts?
abundance of glue.
No.
No, we've just been on a long
Vacation.
extended journey.
Oh. Well, welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
Your rooms are available. I believe your tab for the last 2 months is... I'm just kidding. Yeah, you're all welcome to stay here as long as you want to.
My horse.
Your horse, yes. I didn't have room in the stables. I put him with the guard, so they should have him.
Good man.
What about that horse?
And
but
your
it's still me.
wagon will be with them too.
Have a
One with
wagon?
the kind of illusion. So yeah, that was difficult to explain, but they have it. So if you need to take that, a
Gentleman and
Corporal-
a scholar.
Corporal Dirk, I guess, was the one that took it.
Captain
So
Dirk now.
Captain Dirk. Okay,
The
I'll remember
promotion
that.
hasn't gone through yet, Finn. Don't-
It will.
Oh.
If it doesn't,
Listen, you have to dress for the job. you
civil
want.
war. Civil war will happen if he does not get it by the end of today.
You all look like you could use a drink.
So
or
many.
several.
I'll get those right up. Have a seat, and he goes to get you drinks.
Grab
And
straw and little umbrellas.
Okay. Are we what's season? I know we're in Ishfornen, so it's cold in general.
it is
Like,
winter.
what?
It is the
Okay.
heart of winter.
Still
right now.
deep winter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And as I said, it was bright at noon. It is now getting dark at like 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seems right. Never thought I'd like the cold. But this is so nice being here.
I kind of want to just go like out into the snow.
Just into it.
Azon, have you ever seen snow?
I've seen it now, and I don't like
You're
it.
gonna hate it.
I do. It is so cold here. And he's like kind of clutching the last remnants of the suit and the,
Oh,
the cloak he
buddy.
has. He says, do you have warmer clothes?
We do, and we should get you some. But here's a scarf, and she like pulls in her bag and has a
Put the-
scarf for
Put the
you.
scarf around him to hide the hide the neck.
The neck.
Not specifically, but yes, also. Maybe a bit until we
He
can
looks-
get him something.
He looks really good in a scarf.
Oh, excellent.
He pulls it off.
Why would he pull off the scarf? This is stupid.
She just put it on him.
Leave it on.
But yes, we should definitely
This
get
game
you
has been
some
nothing
more.
but puns. I'm so mad right now.
Are
Do you
you?
expect anything else with us?
Yeah, have you met us?
No.
I'm not the one which mentioned the stairs leading up to heaven, okay? I had to go there. It was just...
I set
It
him
was
up,
just
you
that.
knock him down.
It's like... just floating across, and it's like, what you gonna do? Just let that slide? No way.
I did. I'm your setter here.
All right. So
Oh, no.
with that freeze frame of you guys goofing around and stuff in the
Yes.
inn, what do you do? So we talked about this a little bit, kind of off stream, about when you guys got back, taking some time off. Not from the game, from like in game.
Don't scare everyone like that.
Yeah, I was terrified. So taking some time off from adventuring, and going around. You guys have been going like nonstop for forever.
A week.
Holy.
So
I'm only meant to work 5 days a week with 2 days.
Yeah. So we talked about. I think we settled on something like. Or I was thinking about 6 months to get the guild constructed. And get you guys fully established in the city. So that's what we're looking at now. Is you guys having 6 months to essentially do whatever you want.
Well, if we live a modest lifestyle, we don't have to work again.
You technically never have to work again. Yes, we could just end the
Putting
campaign.
that out there, we could just be like,
tiring.
Thanks for joining us for the finale, everybody.
It was sort of anticlimactic. We just decided to end it for no reason. Yeah, so we can. I mean, anything you guys want to do. I think some of you have thought about this already and what you would want. We don't have to decide everything right now, but we've got some time left, about 15 minutes or so until the end of the session. So we can talk about that a bit. Does anybody have anything they wanted to do?
I mean,
Well,
I pretty much know.
Got a list, so somebody else go first.
I would have given Hilda crap about her boyfriends.
Oh my gosh.
For 6 months.
Okay, 6 months. All right, that's a full day every day for 6 months. Okay, so that's what Finn does.
No, I'm saying that night I would have been like, while we're getting drunk. We're no longer in pain. It's actually a nice feeling, actually.
Oh, it probably feels so good.
I'll give
We're not
Chad
in
his
pain
vial
anymore.
of, I'll give Chad his vial of blood
I
back.
forgot about that.
Oh, I also have one of those.
I'll collect all the vials of my blood and then
Yeah.
probably just toss them in the garbage somewhere.
Okay, we
Burn
get
'em.
the end credit scene
biological
of
weapons
somebody
back.
rooting through the garbage and grabbing them in the dead of night. And
No,
then
I'll dump them in a chamber pot.
Prestigitation. Oh, man. Doctor walked past. What the hell?
Okay, so goofs aside, well, I'm just gonna go through and see. So Finn, is there anything you wanted to do during the time period? Anything you want to craft? Any proficiencies you want to pick up?
I did want to try and turn those shards of obsidian into a weapon.
Okay.
All the ones that you got from
The second guy we killed.
Yes.
Ragnarok.
Okay. What kind of weapon did you want to make?
Yeah, what do you
This
want?
is a lot of pressure.
Like a sword or something?
How much obsidian do I have?
Enough.
That's just. I'll just upgrade my rapier.
Okay. So you want to make a new blade with the obsidian?
Yeah.
Is there any with the qualities of obsidian and a weapon, I can give a couple of things. Additional fire damage, and a fire enchantment to it probably makes the most sense. Is there something else that you were thinking of or considering?
I had no idea. I just wanted to make something from a dead guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think with 6 months of crafting,
Yeah, and I can help him with that.
yeah, you could probably make a +2 rapier with some additional fire damage. What's the flame tongue? I think it's 2d6.
Oh, let me look on my sheet. It does 2d6.
Yeah,
Plus, it's a +2.
yours is a +2.
Weapon.
Yeah. Yeah. So this you could do you could do essentially the same enchantment on that Hilda has on her sickle.
Wicked.
So yeah, I'd say all in all, as far as you're spending the time, so you're not having to pay for the time. Materials, you have most of them, so I would say you could probably do the whole thing for 500 gold pieces. just at a heavy reduction for what a +2 flame tongue would be.
Can I borrow 500 gold pieces too?
You guys have your 10,000, so
have
either
so
if you
much,
guys
yeah.
want to divide that 4 ways, or just take that out of the one group fund.
Let's just take out the group.
Okay. So you have 9,500 gold pieces left.
Has anybody updated the party coin sheet?
Yeah, because I think you guys had a lot in
I'm
there.
gonna do it right now. Don't nobody touch it.
How much you guys have on addition to the 10? With addition to the 10?
We have 1,209 gold, 4,500 silver, 79 platinum,
Oh, which is
and-
790 gold pieces. So you
Yeah.
guys don't even have to touch the gold. You could just.
and then we have 5,000 worth of gems.
Yeah, we'll just dig out some platinum
You
and
guys
hand
have
it to
lots of
Finn. Like,
gold.
here you go.
Perfect. So yeah, Finn, you spend the time crafting that. If anybody else, I will say, if anybody else has any specific crafting they want to do, we can message about that if we don't want to talk about it on stream. If you have any ideas between now and then,
Okay.
you just have to let me know before we have the next fight, and I'll tell you how much it's going to cost. And
Okay, so that was 500 gold pieces.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm just gonna write this down for now.
Okay, so Jules, did you have anything you want to do?
Crafting wise or just in general?
Just in general.
Yeah. Jules goes the fuck home.
Okay.
And I will say that like the invitation is open for anybody to come with her because she has like a whole established business and stuff in her
What type
hometown.
of business?
It's a brewery and tavern.
Do I have time to go visit Jules's brewery and craft my sword?
Yeah, I'll say sure.
Yes. Jules said she would miss Finn if he died, so Finn's our new best friend.
Yeah, because
So-
that's probably a couple of weeks to do that. Probably
Yeah.
probably closer to a month.
It's
to
been
go
a long
there
time
and-
since she's been home.
Yeah.
But yeah, she goes home, goes to the ale house.
The Rusty Cog.
The Rusty Cog ale house, and sees her mom
Yeah. So you
and
you,
everyone else.
You arrive in the like snowbanked city or town of Vicris.
The invitation is for everyone, including Azon and Matthias.
Oh yeah. So I guess
Their friend does.
Azon would love to go because he wants to see.
I gotta get this
the
guy to
rest
try
of us.
beer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does anybody else go besides Finn?
Yeah, I think Chad's gonna take a break from the stuff
Come
that
on,
we'll
fam.
get into.
Come to the mountains.
And we'll be like, that would be the weirdest trip, just Jules, Azon, and Finn.
Yeah.
You trying
Matthias
to keep
probably
us
comes,
two in,
right?
Yeah. Matthias would go too. Yeah.
Aw.
Unless Hilda's staying, and then he might stay with Hilda, so she's not by herself.
Oh man, I don't
Hilda
know.
would like
No
a place
vacation.
to herself because Sebastian
We can get you
and the,
Get you lots of books to read on the way.
Take a little vacation to our
Yeah.
little mountain town. It's a
Yeah,
small
that'd be
town. There's nothing to do but read. So
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, you guys, depending on how long you wanted to stay for. Some of you stay for like a week. It's probably like a week to get there, staying there a week, and a week to come back.
I don't know if we'd stay the whole time with Jules, but certainly go visit.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So you guys arrive in the I think probably you end up going as the snow begins to melt. We kind of getting in closer into spring, since it's easier to travel during that time. You arrive in Vicris, which is just a small little nested village at the base of the mountains, and not a less than a day's travel from there is the Rusty Cog Ale House. And you I think the way we described it, it's a former monastery, so it's a stone building.
it's it's attached. So
Mhm.
like there is this old like temple, and then there is this kind of wooden building that's built off of it that is like the ale house, the tavern part. And then so it's that, and then this kind of stone monastery, and then in the back is like the large kind of like brewery area.
And as you arrive, your mother, Camilla, comes.
Who looks nothing like Jules.
Yeah, a woman in her kind of late 50s, comes running out and gives you a big hug and invites you all to come inside. And you all have a nice week there of drinking, lots of drinking, mostly just drinking, and reminiscing.
Dang.
And Camilla telling you stories about
They make their own beer.
Yeah. Telling you stories of Jules's childhood and asking you about what you've done during this time, the last couple of months since you've been gone. God damn it. We're going to do that song so many times. Nice. Perfect. So you do that. So we can get more in detail with that, Jules, but I'll go and ask Chad.
Can I say my one proficiency that I want to finish working towards? Because it's water vehicles.
Water vehicles.
I had started it.
I'm thinking about where you could practice your water vehicle training.
You said the snow was melting.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking during, probably not while you're up visiting your mom, but during the other 5 months.
I don't want to finish that.
You know, you could head south back to where like the other obelisk you guys hid away is. I don't know if you guys ever tell anyone about that so they can
yes, would probably eventually tell about that, because why would we keep it hidden?
So
unless
maybe
you guys got some other reasons.
Because if no one except us knows it's there, no one's gonna find it.
We should
randomly.
smash it. We should destroy it. We should kill it. We should burn it.
Yeah.
Maybe after we find out what they did with the other one.
Should boil it and put it in a
Okay,
Yep.
so you
Boil and mash them, stick
sounds
them in
like
a
you do
stew.
not trust the
Imperium
with the thing.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about the Imperium as a player to know if what my character would think about them. So
I mean, it's
we can get
the
into that later.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of a personal opinion. It's the arcane sort of police force that is kind of positioned throughout the world and
sexy
educate
battle wizards.
Yeah, and kind of educate. They provide education for most of like the mages across the world, and like build colleges and stuff. And based out of Old Duck here, specifically after the events of like our last campaign, where the treaties of the Concordat came into effect. So, the other one is taken by them eventually and returned to Alnduk here. Well, I imagine, Jules, you pick up you finish your proficiency at some point, maybe on an expedition, just to check in on make sure the obelisk is still there.
Yes. I can drive everything now.
Spend a little bit of time on the coast.
That's all I wanted.
Air vehicles.
Can we buy an airship?
That's next. You guys are probably about 90,000 gold away from being able to afford an airship.
Can we steal an airship?
Maybe next time.
Yes.
Okay, so Chad, what do you do during your time off?
A few things. I think Chad is probably one of the people primarily responsible for getting the guild actually up and running.
Okay.
Though obviously getting input from everyone else.
Yeah.
But
like the paperwork side, or the like talking to people, and like what side of it?
more so the latter, but is involved in the paperwork. But I think, and we kind of talked about this in Roll20 chat, I think we actually want to get the guild hall built as close to the portal as we can.
Mm-hmm.
One, to just, that's a major power move, but also to be like, hey, we're setting up the guild here, and maybe that will help revitalize the area around it and not just leave that section of the city completely abandoned.
It's very World of Warcraft in my head, and I love it.
Okay.
From the team that opened the portal.
But then
They don't know.
The Hope of Vagrants, Legion.
I don't know if it would be too premature to do it before we have, an actual standing guild hall building, but is also going to, head up recruitment efforts to start getting people interested.
Yeah, well, I'd say the guild hall is probably, if we're doing 6 months, I think the guild hall is probably finished construction mostly about 4 months in, and the last 2 are like furnishing and getting things kind of situated the way you want to, and you could definitely spend some time recruiting during that. Do a persuasion check,
Okay.
and I'll give you advantage on it.
All right.
And we're designing outfits.
Well, I rolled 2 8s, but that's a 16.
16, that's not bad. I'd say with your recruiting over those 2 months, and given how interested people are in the town about it, about joining the Hope of Vagrants, the saviors of of Quill Dun, you probably get about we'll say 6 applicants, or we'll say you get a bunch of applicants. You get 6 that are competent enough that you feel like they could be in your guild. They'd be good recruits. Yeah. I'm gonna let you guys decide who those 6 people are.
I'm putting forward one person's name.
Oh my goodness. Whoever could have
Wait,
He's
can
no
we-
longer
can we
captain of
guess?
the guard. He is leader of
recruiting Dirk
Team
for
B.
it.
Yeah.
You guys could potentially do that if you guys wanted to. Dirk would be a good good contact in the guard if you want, but if you guys wanted to recruit him, I don't think he'd turn that down. So yeah, there's that. But you guys can also invent. I want you guys over the next week to sort of invent some NPCs. If you guys
Sweet.
don't, I'll come up with some.
Okay.
going to be
There's 6, so it's like 1 to 2 each. Would.
the Hope of Vagrants volleyball team.
But,
Yeah, I like that.
and in addition to that, there's going to be a fair bit of research that Chad wants to do. Going to do some research into Zariel, try and just learn what he can about that. I don't think to any actual end, though. And then there's still the... I'm getting words from this end from the dwarf world and all of it's true mixed up, but doing more research about the place that Dragon Maru showed him in the vision, and maybe even
that castle thing.
maybe even trying to go there, just check it out, but not like actually make an expedition. Certainly, at least not on his own.
Okay.
Forgot about that.
Yes, because the place that you are referring to is Gaelach Ard, or the Moon Citadel. That you have identified as being potentially the place. This castle that is on this lake in the center of the loch, and it is like this swirling tempest, like perpetually surrounding it. So yeah, you could definitely do some more research and learn some stuff about that. I'll make a note that you researched it because
I
it's
don't
gonna
expect
play
you to have stuff on off the top of your head.
but I will remember that. Well, we'll get into something that is going to be important that you've researched it. You might know some stuff because I will go to you to bring in exposition for it. So yeah, you do that. Is there anything else?
I don't know if that's too much. If I still have time for any more proficiencies.
You could probably do 1 proficiency.
I have to decide what I want to do though. Oh gosh.
Yeah, you could.
I think I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. I'm gonna pull everyone and be like, which one makes sense? So
Okay.
Some skill proficiency, not sure which one yet.
All right.
Okay.
Morgan.
Okay, so maybe helping Chad with his research in Zariel. Wants to do some research maybe about like the visions that they saw and some of the history about like the basing on the name of the thing that happened to the gods. Like
Virgins?
There you go. We were just sort of doing some a little bit of research on that.
Some more theological historical research on you're talking about the Sundering, the war, between where Grin and Alarius died, or you're talking about before that with the Awakened?
Before that. Whatever Zara was referring to.
Okay.
I think it was before. Because she said that happened, but there was like before that happened.
Yeah. Okay. So you do some more.
Vague.
No. I get that. I can give you some more detail on that. So you do more research on what Zariel was sort of monologuing about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and helping Chad with that sort of research probably about Zariel.
Okay. What else do you want to do?
Want to look into what it would take to sort of purify these gems that we got.
I was wondering if this was going to come up. So The gems, the corruption to them could be purified over a period of time, probably through holy means. You have a cleric in your group, so that make things easier. But a little bit of arcane influence would be good. There's some stabilizing of like the magical power and the keeping of like it in this like crystal form, so it doesn't just like shatter and explode upon like exposure to the holy or the divine energies. But yeah, it looks like essentially there is this divine and celestial essence trapped inside of these gems, which are kind of constructed from this fiend or this crystal born in the depths. So yeah, you could purge it, and essentially it would provide a source of magical divine power that could be used for all sorts of things, fueling ritual spells, creating the creation of divine artifacts and items and things like that. So you could use it in crafting, you could use it in whatever spell work that you might want to try to use it for, but it is a very intense, very powerful source of divine magic, proportional to the strength of the fiends that took them in. So seeing how powerful they are. Yeah.
Or potentially, could someone still do the like bonding thing with it? With them?
They could. The result of that would largely probably depend on the nature of the person taking it in, because it is a holy energy, and could have mixed results for who does it. You imagine a lot of the corruption probably happened when these fiendish energy entities tried to bond with something like this. And their own nature kind of corrupted the crystals.
So maybe we don't have to solve this now, but maybe at some point as a group we could decide what we want to do with these. If I use it for something or
I was gonna say if it helps, if we wanted to like add energy to cleansing them and stuff, like while we're in Jules' hometown, like they have a temple and her mom is a priest, and so there's that kind of extra source of help.
Actually I like that. So this might actually feed in well with kind of maybe something good we can end on. So you want to cleanse the crystals and potentially use them to like empower yourselves with this energy,
if that's what people want to do with it.
We
just have them. I don't want them to go to waste.
So here's something that I think here's what happens. And so you guys have 2 of these crystals, and they're fairly large, and you take them to Jules's temple and place them in the center of this holy reliquary that Jules's mother leads you to, and you spend a few days out of your journey kind of that are kind of a few days of your journey, you're doing this purifying ritual. And I like the idea that you are all there focusing on these gems, and as Hilda and Jules are conducting this ritual, Finn and Chad kind of watching and ready in case something goes terribly wrong. And there is a flash of light, and you watch as these crystals kind of crack, and that red energy kind of goes seeping out and kind of pulls away like blood across the floor, and then just dissolves into smoke, leaving just these golden crystals in front of you. And then that same golden energy kind of levitates out of the crystal and kind of coalesces into one form, and then sort of splinters off and collides with each one of you in turn in the chest, and kind of is absorbed into you, and you all kind of go collapsing backwards in that moment.
Well, didn't know I was gonna do that.
And you all just feel this strange sensation running through, like electricity, as that happens. You don't feel any immediate effects, but it is it's a notable experience over your time off.
Ooh. Okay.
Did it leave a burn mark
Hmm?
on my suit? Did it make a hole in my suit?
No.
Your suit. Okay. Just look at my list. Just gonna at some point learn the rest of all these spells that I have in these spell books I've collected.
Yeah, you if you want to figure out the cost and
I have to do that math.
You have plenty of time. You figure out the cost and just let me know how much you end up spending on it, or deduct it from your party funds. So I think you guys probably have enough money.
At some point, resting enough to finally get rid of this other injury point.
Oh yeah. You should do that. Get rid of that injury point. Does everybody else have any? Were you the only one with injury points? Because I don't think
anybody else did as far as that, but you all have enough time to get rid of them.
Yeah.
I don't have any.
Okay, and then I think that's mostly it.
Okay. So the 6 months pass. Your guild hall's constructed. We'll talk about the details of that over the next week and what is going to happen, what that's going to look like, what kind of space you have in there, all that good stuff. But I want to leave you with one thing before we move on to whatever is going to happen next time. I'm looking for some music. There is one morning, kind of you're hitting in the summer at this point, with the amount of time that has passed, and as the guild hall is well underway and your new recruits are being trained, you all wake one morning and come down for breakfast in the guild hall, whatever this might look like. But I'm imagining some sort of larger space with a number of tables for all of you and the recruits and everyone to eat and socialize. But for now, it is the four of you and Matthias currently sitting in the hall. And as you are sitting there eating quietly, talking amongst yourselves, you watch as Matthias stops in the middle of his eating and stands up and turns to the group of you. And there's this sort of blank look across his face. And then you watch as just this faint sort of glow begins to outline him, and the cards from his belt, the pouch opens and kind of goes spilling out across the ground, and he begins to kneel down and begin to pick them up frantically. And as he grabs them, and in the last few cards are remaining, he grabs the last one, he looks at it, and then he looks up at the group of you, and in this voice that is not his own, this kind of light, more feminine voice, he says, "I believe we need to talk." And that's where we're going to end our session here for tonight.
Ah! What? Oh boy.
So yeah, that's it. That's what we're gonna call it. Thanks you guys for playing. So you guys still have the 6 months. We're gonna talk in the meantime between the sessions, like what else you guys get done, because I know we kind of sped through it, but I don't want to spend too much time agonizing over it when you get into the next thing. Kind of leading into our little final arc here, to wrap up the campaign, but there's gonna be a lot, so we're gonna have plenty of time, probably couple more months of this game. But in the meantime, we'll talk about all the stuff you guys did the break. I'll come with some specifics for Chad on his research and Hilda on hers. Any weapons or anything you guys want to craft during the time, anything else you want to
I need to think about it.
Stock up on supplies, anything else you need. I think somebody mentioned a bag of holding in the
Yes,
group,
please.
that you might want that. So just make me a list of things you want, and I can give you a
Can we just
a
open this
breakdown.
Frady bottle?
You could also do that. If we need to do a brief
Finn said
flashback.
something. He's like, "Fuck it."
Oh no.
While drunk one night, we got this. Please don't.
And that's how the guild hall burned down, everybody.
So
It was
we'll
done after 3 months, and then they had to build it again.
yeah. Oh, also we need to map out, like, come up with a list of like rooms and stuff you guys want, or like I guess each of you are probably gonna have your own rooms, and like what you
Love
want
it.
in your
Okay.
room, equipment,
Shag
things like
pile rugs on the wall, ceiling, and floor.
so a padded room is what
Yes.
is what Finn wants. That seems appropriate. Okay. So yeah, we'll be back in 1 week, everyone, to continue this story. Join us in the meantime tomorrow for Slang 101 at 4 o'clock Eastern time. And then stay tuned throughout the week. Follow our schedule below. We've got lots of good things coming up throughout the week and leading into our next session on Saturday. Anything else that we need to go
We
over?
lived.
Yay! You
Is
guys
this
lived
really living though?
and you avoided a fight. So well done.
Someday I'm gonna go back and kill that pit fiend.
It was someday. So yeah,
Nemesis.
Scared of you.
Rule of threes.
we'll see you guys in a week. Have fun till then. Everybody enjoy yourselves. And until next time, good game and good night, Internet.
Good night,
Good night,
Internet.
Internet.
No.